Hey, we're back. Yay. Woo. I'm so happy. I'm so glad. Jeez. Sad friend. Thank you, Shep. Sorry. I'm gonna try and unsalt myself. I'm a little upset that we had a lot of people here that, and now this whole debacle is happening, and I've got to rechange all this stuff that I've put on everywhere, so... One moment. Let me get this all fixed up here really quickly, and... yeah, whole different thing. So all that social media stuff that I put up here doesn't actually matter anymore because, it's a new thing. Oh my god. So what happened? I did a scene transition and it just, exploded. So, very helpful. Not a YouTube thing. That was just an OBS thing. So, very, very happy. Very happy with that. Okay. Oh, it doesn't even have the thumbnail. Good gravy. Good gravy. I'm very sorry, folks. Okay. We are the picture of put together. It wouldn't be a Nova stream without a technical difficulty. Boy, how I wish that was not the case, and yet here we are. Okay, okay. I'm calm. I'm at peace. I'm just a cool guy. I'm a cool little dude. I'm a little dude, and it's my birthday. It's not my birthday. It's not going to be my birthday for a little while. Anyway, let's go ahead and go over to the Discord server and get into the voice chat. Okay, Megacombi.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing, well, I'm recovering. How are you doing today? I already asked. You don't have to answer that. Okay. But anyway, thank you very much for stopping by. Let me go ahead and make sure I've got all of my stuff pulled up here so I can see all the chat stuff. We see the Discord overlay, by the way. Okay, let me go and get that fixed up there. Okay. So, Megacombi, what is the archetype that you have presented to us today?
This month, I finally graduated from university.
Ooh.
And in celebration, something that was clearly done by something who was mentally healthy, I decided to make a Yu-Gi-Oh archetype based on the parasite I wrote my thesis on.
Wow, making something that's tied in with a thing that you spend a lot of your time researching. Wow, yeah, that sounds like a... Woo, that sounds like something a silly person would do. So you're in the exact right place.
Perfect. So
parasite research. Yeah, please continue. I'm super interested.
So I was doing research into a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, which causes a disease called Chagas disease. And the archetype is, within the bounds of Yu-Gi-Oh!, designed to kind of replicate the life cycle in an ideal place, so that you can kind of skip around, because it wouldn't be very fun to play otherwise. One quick disclaimer before all of this. This archetype involves a lot of giving cards to your opponent, and thus I understand people would play this with rivalry and goes and match, so I've decided to live in the utopian world where both are banned.
We're not none of these particular floodgates for this parasite.
No. And then finally, before we start up, a special shout out, thanks to Rex Raptor for helping me touch up the problem solving card text.
Thanks, Rex. Alrighty. So I'm going to assume that our first guy, Triposite Epimus. Am I getting close on that one?
Yeah, I'm the Triposite Epimas. This is an Epimastigote.
Alrighty. And is this going to be like our main starting point for the archetype?
Uh, Theoretically, yeah. So the Epimasticote is the form of the parasite that's in the bug that bites you.
Okay.
So if you go through the effect, it'll kind of
Okay.
self-explain.
So when this card is summoned, you can add a Triparasite Vector card from your deck to your hand. You can tribute this card as a quick effect to special summon up to 2 Triparasite monsters from your hand or grave. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Triparasite monsters.
Mhm. So you're getting your vector, your way of infecting somebody, and you're making lots more of yourself.
Alright, that makes sense. Typical Parasite behavior.
What are they like?
Parasites be like, yo, I love infecting things. And I can multiply? Let me at it.
Love to duplicate.
I'm out here duplicating with what's a good term to call other fellow parasites going around the petri dish?
I don't know. Clones? They're usually all the same.
Hell yeah. Alright, Triparasite Vector Spill. Uh-oh. When this card is activated, if you control a face-up field spell, draw a card. Also, after that, you can activate a Triparasite field spell from your deck. Once per turn, if this card is activated this turn, you can give control of this card to your opponent. During your standby phase, special summon a Triparasite host token, which is a level 1 light beast monster with 0 attack and defense, and it can't be used to summon material except for the summon of a Triparasite monster this turn. Or except for Triparasite monster this turn. You can discard a card, destroy this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, so we've got so the containment breach gives our opponent, like, we spread it to them, and I assume we're going to utilize that to try and mess with them.
This also gives you the field spell, which if you just mouse over to the next card is the host. So you've spilled your parasites, they've gone into the air, you are now infected.
No!
The other clause was just there because when I was playtesting with this, I found that quite often, like, if you drew a spill, it did kind of very little if you already had the field spell, so I just wanted to make it a little bit more kind of like, this card isn't just dead.
Got it. Okay, when a Triparasite host field spell card, the battlefield is you. When a Triparasite monster is summoned, if you are the owner of this card, your opponent loses 500 life points. Okay. If you once per turn as a quick effect, you can activate 1 Triparasite field spell from your deck on your opponent's side of the field, and during your end phase, if you are not the owner of this card, special summon a Triparasite host token to your field, and has the usual Triparasite restriction about being able to use it as material. Okay. So not only is this is also kind of like a vector insofar as giving your opponent a means to obtain Triparasite host tokens.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The wording is a little wordy, but it's difficult to make a card that has different effects depending on which side of the field it's on.
No, that's fair. I think there's like I think you could do one of those bullet point things where it's like apply the following when a Triparasite monster is summoned, apply the following effect depending on who owns this card. I think that's about all I can think of off the top of my head. All right, next up we have Triparasite Vector Kiss. Little smooch. Look at that little... Oh, I guess content warning bug images for anyone in chat right now. Sorry we didn't get to that beforehand. But if
I tried to make sure there was nothing where there was like any mouthpieces going into the skin.
That's good. That's good. So thank you for making sure that happened. Or making sure that didn't happen, I should say.
An important note, the reason this is called Kiss, other than, just like not saying bite, is because the bug that spreads the particular parasite is called the kissing bug.
Oh, well, there we go. Triparasite needs you to draw the out. Billick, please. Alright, when this card is activated, you can add a Triparasite monster from your deck to your hand. If this card was activated this turn, give control of it to your opponent. During the end phase, your opponent can special summon a level 1 monster from their hand. You can discard a card to destroy this card. Oh, so so you give it to your opponent, or so you activate it. You get the Triparasite monster, and there's an activated effect, you give it to your opponent. Okay.
And then now, sorry, you go.
Yeah, and then during end phase, you get to summon one of your little freaks,
your little freaky boys,
little wiggly worms.
If we're going for lore perfect, what you summon then is the next card along Triparasite Metacycle. which is the
Uh,
form where when it goes into a new host from the bug, it'll go into this to get into its cells.
got it. All right, so this card cannot be used as some material except for a Tripocyte monster. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can add a Tripocyte monster from your deck to your hand, then give control of this card to your opponent. All right, now do we get the Epimus, or do we get something further down the cycle with this?
Pretty much always both. What you would usually be going for both in terms of like play and filling the lore is you'd usually try and get the next card along Tripocyte Amasts, because it's one of your main interactions.
Got it. If your opponent Tripocyte Amasts, level 2 Dark Beast, 0 attack and defense. If your opponent controls a Tripocyte card, you can tribute a monster your opponent controls to special summon this card from your hand. Oh, funny, it does not say you have to tribute the Tripocyte card. That's dangerous. When this card is special summoned, you can add a Tripocyte spell or trap from your deck or grave to your hand, then special summon a Tripocyte Zoid token, which is a level 1 Dark Beast with 0 attack and defense to your opponent's out of the field defense position.
You'll note the Zoid token doesn't have the usual summoning restriction. This is because to kind of both, it's your opponent gets something out of having one of their monsters tributed, but also because you special summon and then you trigger that effect.
Okay.
But also, as when a meta, it's the stage before is a metacyclic Tripomastigote. That when it goes and becomes an Amastigote, it becomes one Amastigote and one Zoid. And a Zoid is just an empty cell. It doesn't function, and then the host can break it down and get nutrients from it. So you can still use your token.
Oh, well, I guess good for us then. At least we walk out of here with something.
Mm-hmm.
Said an opponent about to lose all their life points. All right, Tripocyte...
Differentiation.
I should have known that. I kept saying defenestration in my head. It's like, that's not defenestration.
Throwing these parasites out a window.
Get at it! Go! All right. Tripocyte Differentiation, quick play spell card. Tribute a monster that you control. Special summon a Tripocyte monster with a different name than the tributed monster from your deck. If you tribute a Tripocyte monster, special summon a Tripocyte monster from your deck. Hey, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So we get 2 for the price of 1, if we choose to go on theme.
Mm-hmm. You're taking it, splitting, and becoming 2 different guys now.
Alrighty. Tripocyte Broad, is it Broad Goat?
Yes.
Alright, level 4 Dark Beast monster, 0 attack and defense. This card gains 700 defense for each Tripocyte card on the field. Your opponent can only designate this card as an attack target, and all monsters your opponent controls must attack if able, except for Tripocyte monsters. Once per turn, when this defense position card is attacked, and the attack of the attacking monster is lower than this defense, you can destroy the attacking monster at the end of the damage step. It's about time we had more cards like this.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of the 2 things that your Amastigotes turn into. I decided to make this guy, he's supposed to sit on the field and be defensive because the broad form is the one that stays in the bloodstream the longest. It can survive for longer, so it's tougher.
Got it. Alright, next we have Slender Goat, a level 4 Dark Beast with 0 attack and defense. Monsters on the field lose 300 attack and defense for each Tripocyte card on the field except Tripocyte monsters. If your opponent controls a Tripocyte card, you can, as a quick effect, you can reveal this card in your hand and target up to 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls. Special summon this card from your hand, then if you targeted a spell or trap card, negate the effects of that spell or trap card while this card is face up on the field. Oh, okay. So it's got kind of, Altergeist Conquery energy, but for spells and traps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and because of the quick effect, you can hit things like normal spells and traps. That's pretty cool. I like that. Is there any other flavor purposes for putting that information, that kind of effect on Slender Goat?
Not really.
Okay.
I kind of made it just to mirror Broad Goat because I couldn't think of a good way to kind of represent. Oh, I love bone cells.
Marrow. Yum, 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 yum. Alright, Tripocyte Persister is a level 1 Dark Beast monster, 0 attack and defense. If a Tripocyte monster is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card in face-up defense position from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Tripocyte monster from your grave to your hand. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. You can tribute this monster to special summon a Tripocyte monster from your hand. So if they go from anywhere, you get to have this. You can essentially trade it out for any other one in your hand. Oh, and it recycles too. That's a pretty good like bridging card.
So quite a nice big issue with treating Chagas disease, the disease this parasite causes, is that it does this thing where it becomes a persister, where you treat it and a couple of them go dormant, and then they can all just come back again.
Motherfucker. That
Exactly.
sucks.
And that's what this card and the next card both represent this.
Alright, Triposite Dormancy. Normal trap card. Until the end of this turn, Triposite monsters you control cannot be targeted for attacks or by card effects. If you control no monsters, you can shuffle this card from your graveyard into the deck to special summon a Triposite monster from your hand or grave. Yeah, that seems pretty thematic. Jeez.
But they came back.
But they came. Hard leg. Virality. It's not a virus. Anyway, that's a pretty funky way to make sure you still have Triposites on board. Next we have Triposite Infection Occurrence. Normal trap card. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Its effects are negated until the end of this turn, and special summon a Triposite monster from your hand or graveyard. During your turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle this card from your grave into the deck to add a Triposite spell or trap from your grave to your hand. So we have a negation that summons a new one. Shuffle this card. Oh, and it recovers you your spells and traps back. That's nasty. You don't even banish it.
The reason it kind of became a little stronger over time was because I was finding that, like, quite quickly, the deck would run out of steam. It's got a few very strong interactions, but then you run out of gas. And that's without anyone interrupting, because I'm just playing solitaire hands.
That makes sense. And so this keeps the steam firmly within the system. All right, last main deck card, Triposite Infection Emergence, normal trap card. Target a monster your opponent controls. The target monster's name becomes Triposite Host. Then you can immediately link summon a Triposite monster. During the end phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle this card from your grave into the deck to draw a card. Neat. So they gained the name of the field spell. That's silly.
This will become important when we get to the link monsters.
Speaking of which, Triposite Infection Acute. Oh, go ahead.
Just as a quick, lore feels like the wrong word, but I'll say it.
Whoa, does this parasite have lore?
Yo, parasite lore. Chagas disease is very typified by having two phases. You have your acute phase and your chronic phase. So during the acute phase, it's at the very beginning. It's very briefly. You have very minor effects, and then very minor or no symptoms, and then the disease just kind of goes on in the background without you noticing for 10 or more years.
What?
At which point it then emerges and does horrendous damage to you, often resulting in very quick organ failure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
One of the reasons it's just so nasty.
When I heard parasite, it's like, okay, this is like some kind of consumption thing where things will happen over time. Not, yeah, we took a 10-year break and then decided to kill you.
Yeah, pretty much. It really just depends at the end of basically the first phase where they've all ended up, whether or not it's just going to be nasty or really nasty.
Good gravy. Okay, one second. Moby decided he wanted to eat the cable, so we've got to do a little Moby management here. Go on. He's mad at me. So we took him to the vet recently, and he's pretty healthy, except he has an ear infection. So we have to swaddle him up every night and put goo in his ear, and he doesn't like that, so he's taking it out on me.
I've got a big cut on my hand, big long scratch on the back of my hand from trying to hold my cat still whilst we took a tick off its face. So.
Okay, if anyone sees in a thumbnail, they see a dark spot on the back of my hand, that is a Moby scar. That is Moby being a little guy. Jeez. Okay, anyway, now that we've talked about the horrors of what this parasite does, let's talk about the card and the horrors that it can do to our opponent. A Link 4 Dark Monster with 0 attack, Triposite Infection Acute. requires 2 or more monsters, including a Tripocyte monster, as material. If you have a Tripocyte card in your graveyard, you can also use Tripocyte monsters your opponent controls as link material for this monster. Okay. This card can't attack. This card cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking directly. This card cannot be used as a summon material except for the summon of a Tripocyte monster. And if this card is link summoned, draw a card, then give control of this card to your opponent. Other Tripocyte cards on the field are unaffected by other card effects except acute. Okay. So
acute is mostly around for being summoned with the effect of emergence. So during your opponent's turn, you turn one of their monsters into a host, and then you just link it away.
Just link it off. Along with any tokens you give your opponent, right?
Mm-hmm. Any Tripocytes they control, including the tokens or Metacycle.
That's nasty. Holy cow. We have evolved past the white woman jump scare. Now it is the parasite jump scare. All right. Next is Tripocyte Infection Chronic. 3,000 attack. Link 5. Dark Beast monster. Requiring 2 or more monsters, including a Tripocyte monster. So same materials as the last one, I think.
Just needs 1 more.
If you have a Tripocyte card in your graveyard, you can also use Tripocyte monsters your opponent controls as material for the link summon of this monster. Unaffected by other card effects the turn it's link summoned. Once per turn, you contribute this monster to target up to 2 Tripocyte monsters in your graveyard to special summon them. If this card attacks a defensive position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So, big attacker, does piercing. Can't be messed with the turn you summon it. And then in the future, you can tribute this off to trade in for more Tripocytes. So I assume you can do it all over again.
The kind of main game plan of the deck is do a little bit of burn damage with Host, or a little bit of chip with Broad Goat. Then you go into your and use like Acute and the other cards to stop yourself from dying. Then you go into Chronic to attack over your opponent and finish them off.
Well, okay then. I believe we had a question from Zenomaru. Doesn't Dormancy can Dormancy cause an attack lock with a Broad Goat? I believe so, because it keeps your Tripocytes from being attacked, and then Broad Goat keeps your opponent from only attacking Tripocytes.
Yes, but it's if your opponent's monsters can attack, they must attack it. But since they can't attack it, they just can't attack. So It's just like that's essentially just threatening roar.
Okay, so it does cause an attack lock. That's nice. Keep them off your little goobers.
Keep your hands off my goobers.
Oh, I just want to infect you. Come on, don't make me homeless. Come on.
I'm just a little hungry guy.
And it's my division day.
Got so many little sisters for you to hang out with, you know?
Come on. Alrighty. So, I guess my next question is, when I think Parasite, I guess I'm a normie in like the world of that information. I think Insect. Was there a particular reason to choose Beast over Insect? Is there like a misunderstanding in the public when it comes to parasites?
Well, I guess these guys in particular are like microscopic parasites. They're so small that I wouldn't really class them as insects. I was thinking when I was like initially doing it that the card that would be closest to these guys that I could think of off the top of my head would be Giant Germ, which is a fiend. I didn't really like typifying them as fiends. They essentially are just tiny, tiny animals.
Yeah, they're just a little like they don't have any malicious intent. They're not like demons. They're just trying to get by.
They have no thought at all. They just follow chemical signals towards things.
Head empty, only consume.
I will head towards attractors, flee from repulsors.
Okay, that is a meme. That is just a meme ready to be baked. Proceed towards attractors, denounce whatever.
Denounce repulsors.
Denounce repulsors.
Me and the homies when we see an attractor. Time for some chemotaxis. The process of heading towards a chemical attractor or away from a repulsor.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm having too much fun here. Thank you. Are there any combos or anything about the archetype that we haven't touched on that you want to highlight for the audience?
I'd say from playing around with the deck in DB, which has been like a boon. I hadn't realized I could do it just in solo mode.
So
It's been
nice.
so great. Though Amasts is an interrupt, quite often what you can do is on turn 1, if you give your opponent a meta cycle or something, you can summon it that turn and get another meta cycle so you can have another Amast for next turn. Especially, you also like summoning Amast turn 1 off of Differentiation, which one thing I didn't realize when I was making the cards that's really good is you can use meta cycles effect, declare it, and since it going over isn't a cost, you can Differentiation, tribute your meta cycle, you get your search, and you get to summon 2 monsters.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty funky. Well, thank you so much for bringing this over. Let me go ahead and crank out the Nova scale. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
Stuff and things, it's just kind of, different parasite in it.
In it.
In it.
In it, a little parasite. Hey, Moby. Oh my goodness.
Moby, no.
Moby. just throw in the Nova scale all the way across the screen. No, you will not talk about this. Incorrect. Okay, here we go. All right. So let's reset this here. Okay, so. Oh, good question from Overlord Derp. Does this mesh with any other beast archetypes out there?
I'm not entirely certain. I've theorized that maybe you could be playing cards like you could maybe work together with Tri-Brigades pretty well.
Ooh, hey, yeah, that makes sense. You're sending a lot of them to graveyard.
This deck does really want its normal summon, though. And it's kind of often quite hungry for cards. I'd say you could probably try it. I definitely, given infinite time and with other people to play with, probably would try out stuff like Tri-Brigade and other things.
All right, folks, get ready for YCS Utrecht next year, where Triposite Melfi is going to be one of the top decks to prepare for.
God, it's such a haunting combination.
And this is why you vaccinate your Melfis and you don't let them walk around out in the wild.
Rabbi is up on that stump every day. You can find him and give him a shot.
Go!
Go now!
Go save them! You don't know what's in that stump!
Oh no. Can't believe Melfi Mommy is an anti-vax.
No! No! Well, you can do whatever you want with Yorix's material, but mine are not going to be having microchips put in them. I'm not turning my little babies into cyber types, okay? Oh my god, okay. Wow.
Oh.
Okay, so novelty, archetype based around an infection that kind of swaps their pieces around. We do have some cards in the game that use our opponent's cards as material, but those are like tech cards. This one feels specifically like we are trying to load up our opponent with material and then take it back from them to make our stuff, which, aside from like a weird kaiju deck we haven't seen before, and it works on a different axis than this. So I think that our novelty here is going to be, I think we can call it a 4 on novelty here. I think we're a pretty strong novelty score for this archetype. Objectivity. I don't see anything ridiculously overpowered. While we do have things like Infection Emergence to essentially make any of our monsters a Triposite so we can link them off. Decks are doing at least that or stronger things going around, so I wouldn't call this over the power curve. We're not even doing our own damage a lot of the time. A lot of our stuff is so tiny that we have to utilize Chronic to actually push for game outside of the archetype. There are some things to clean up about the problem-solving card text, like we talked about with how Host works, but the way it's worded right now at least is clear about how it's supposed to function, so I think we can also give this a very strong 4. Versatility. Can this see play in other decks? I forget, did we have any, of course the early tokens, the host tokens, have a restriction on when they can be used as material outside of Triposite stuff, but did we have any, like, summon locks here that I missed out on?
Epimass locks into Triposites. But other than that, and the fact that Metacycle can't be used as material, but you're usually giving Metacycle away anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
Those
and
two are
Epimass
the.
is a quick effect, so you can do it during your opponent's turn and not have to worry about it.
Mhm.
So it's beasts, it's dark. We already talked about how you could do it with Tri-Brigade, just to, a normal summon thing aside, it does give you a lot of material to work with stuff.
Mhm.
I can see this being a 3 on versatility. I can see this being like a little like advantage engine in certain decks.
Mhm.
And awesomeness, it is a deck built off of a real disease that emulates how it works, and I think it does that pretty well. I'm giving it a 5 on awesomeness. This slab, this is really cool. Holy cow. So I'll give Triple a 16 on the Nova scale. Very strong score. Very strong.
Can't remember what I got last time. It was somewhere around there. I'm at
Hell
least
yeah.
consistent.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much once again for sharing this. Any last words for the audience before we move on to our next guest?
I may have regrets over not doing the Prime Mineral support I made for this month, but probably not, no.
Hey, there's always next time.
Always next time.
All right, well,
Anyway,
thank you very
much.
Oh, thank you. Have yourself a good day, all right? No, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Wonderful. Wonderful guest. YCS California Joshua Schmidt sweeps with Tri-Brigade whooping cough. Come on. Come on. Looks like chat has a massive delay. Yeah, I've noticed that it kind of like chugs along when it comes to chat. That's kind of a little bit of an issue. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to our next guest here. We've talked with Mega Combi. Let's get Zara in on this one. Let's get Zara's cards pulled up here. There's that. Hey, Zara, how's it going?
I'm good. Hello. Also, really quick to Combi, thanks. I will not be sleeping tonight.
Oh boy, the idea of getting of all these deadly infections is so cool.
But it's also horrifying.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and do. Oh, that's too much.
So, yeah, so this is a lot. I have a lot of cards this time. For those that are not familiar about like how the card War of Zero works, which is a very old card that has like a very big lore associated with it, where he has like different ways of different like directions he evolves into depending on what choices he makes. And I decided to like kind of hook into that and like think about like him switching between like good and evil sides, because I like archfiends and there are fairies that are connected to it, and I just have them like switch back and forth, which also includes, which is kind of funny, also giving your opponent monsters, so you have that again.
Yeah, truly, Zara is the multiverse of madness of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, unless we have anything here, I'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, sure.
All right. First up of our little guy team is Zara the Undying, a level 4 Dark Fiend monster with 1600 attack and 800 defense. This card's name becomes Warrior of Zara while on the field, which for those of you who don't know is like the normal monster version of that.
Yeah.
You can banish a Zara monster from your grave to special summon this card from your grave or hand. Oh, so you can just keep bringing this back the more Zara stuff you throw into the grave.
So, a little information about this one. I saw the artwork for Algul Mazera, which was not released at that time. I didn't know what it did. So I just used that one and created this card, but I might change it in the future because, well, a zombie Zera is already there, so I don't really need a second one.
That's fair. Though you did classify it as a fiend, so I could totally see it as like some kind of demon crawling itself back out from hell.
Yeah.
Alright, Archfiend Mazera, level 8 Dark Fiend, 2800 attack, 2300 defense. You can also special summon this card by tributing a face-up Warrior of Zara on your side of the field, of which now we have 2 copies of.
Yeah.
If this card is summoned, you can special summon a level 8 Light Zera Synchro monster from your extra deck, and this is treated as a Synchro monster, and if you do, negate its effects and banish it.
So this is a very specific effect because there is a card in this art in this archetype which is rarely used, which is Angel of Zera, which
Yeah,
is
the
a
level 8
card,
Synchro.
yeah, which gets 100 attack for each of your opponent's banished cards, and comes back in the standby phase if it's banished. So it gets set up for next turn by just being summoned and immediately banished, so it can come back next time.
Okay, so you're not getting it immediately, but you are putting it in rotation.
Yeah.
Okay. This card can make a second attack if it battled a light attribute monster until the end of this turn. And you can discard this card to add a level 4 light attribute Zera monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it's also a searcher, just in case.
Yeah. Because like a lot of them are like level 8s, and you cannot like normal summon them most of the time. So like you either have to work with trade-in, or I give the level 8 some secondary hand effect so they can be used for something.
Got it. Now, it says you can special summon this card by tributing a Warrior of Zera. Is this a special summon from hand effect, or can it also be summoned from the grave?
From hand, sorry. I didn't specify that.
Oh, it's all good. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Zerato's Reflection. Level 4 Light Warrior Tuner Monster, 800 attack, 1600 defense. This also becomes... We have 3 Warrior of Zeras now!
Yeah, it's not gonna be bad. It's gonna you're gonna get more.
Good. Okay, if you control a Zera monster, you can special summon this card to your opponent's side of the field in face-up defense position. During their main phase, your opponent can take control of one other light attribute monster on your side of the field until the end of this turn, but it can't attack and its effects are negated. Alright, so what is the deal with this guy?
So, the artwork is a mirror, which reflects like Zerato in it, and like you give it your opponent, it's a light monster, and its effect allows you to steal it back, so you can use it for Synchro Summon. Or if your opponent has other light monsters, you can steal them instead.
Okay, I get it. Now I understand how all that's supposed to work. So during their main phase, your opponent can take control of one... Oh, but you're never having it yourself immediately. You're just giving it to your opponent. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
You can normal summon it, but that is pretty risky because during your opponent's main phase, if you still have it, he can steal yours because it also works both ways.
Got it. No, I assume that's going to be a quick effect then, since the other person can interact with it.
During your opponent's main effect, it's just like main phase. It's just like you can use it during your main phase.
Got it. Okay, next is Sky Fury Zeratius, level 8 light fairy monster with 2800 attack, 2300 defense. You can also special summon this card by tributing a face-up Warrior of Zera on your side of the field. If this card is summoned, you can send a level 8 dark attribute Zera monster from your hand, deck, or extra deck to the graveyard. Your opponent's dark attribute monsters cannot activate their effects until the end of this turn. Ooh, that's nifty. You can discard this card to send a level 4 dark attribute Zera monster from your deck to the graveyard.
Which it could be Undying, so you can just like get it into rotation by that.
Okay, and then you can banish the Sky Fury to summon back.
Yep.
Okay, so that just gets you free. That's pretty cool. And then, hey, that's more banished monsters for Angel of Zera.
Yep.
I dig. Okay, spell and trap cards. A Higher Calling, quick play spell card. You can tribute a Zera monster to activate one of these effects. Activate a Gates of spell card or Forgotten Temple of the Nether Realms from your deck or hand. Or special summon a Zera monster from your grave or deck with a different original name but same level as the tributed monster.
So you can, for example, you could blow up the Zeratus Reflection and get Undying, or you can blow up Sky Fury Zeradius and get Archfiend Zera, or you can switch those out.
Sweet. Now, does this need to ignore summoning conditions for some of those?
I don't think so, because the two that we have is Mazera Deville and Archlord Zerato, which are the original two, which cannot be normal summoned. But I think this just like gets around it.
Okay, I checked Mazera Deville. It does have one of those. This card cannot be special summoned except by kind of things.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So we need to
But
add that as
also,
well. But
I
that's
think
the
it's
idea.
also good that it doesn't do that because you could just hand rip a lot because Mazera Devil is very broken and has not a once per turn.
Oh wow, you are so right. I'm just rereading this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was thinking about having another card giving Mazera Devil a hard once per turn, just as its effect. So just to lower the power of this card because it's very 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 broken. But yeah, I'm not allowing it to like be summoned in any other ways because otherwise it would just be very bad.
Fair enough. Double is also asking if this gets out Gates of Dark World.
It might. I think it would.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not intended, but it would.
My favorite kind of card interactions. All right, next up is Forgotten Temple of the Nether Realms, field spell card. This card is also treated as a ritual spell card. Huh. You can ritual summon Zera the Mant from your hand, deck, or grave. You must also tribute monsters from the field or your hand whose total levels equal 8 or more. If Gates of Sanctuary is on the field, you can treat this card's name as Sanctuary in the Sky. And if Gates of Pandemonium is on the field, you can treat this card's name as Pandemonium. Oh, great.
Yeah. Which allows you to use the other two cards because they are very, Mazera Deville and Archlord Zerato specifically need those two. And it's pretty much impossible to just like play both in one deck. So I just did away with those two field spells because they just clog up the deck and give you other ways to get those cards onto the board, so you can actually like use those two in conjunction and not like be exclusive to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also like that because it's also always treated as a ritual spell card. I think we can pre-preparation of rights this.
Yep.
Yeah, because it names Zera the Mant on it. That's amazing.
I'm not sure if you can actually treat it as a ritual spell, but I thought it was a very cool idea, so I specifically did that for the pre-preparation.
I mean, that's what this section is all about here. I mean, this whole parentheses thing, you can get away with a lot of stuff if you put it in parentheses up here. Yeah. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. Because that's not like a on-the-field effect. That's one of those things where it's like, yeah, also, we couldn't print it, but this is also a thing you have to keep in mind. Yeah. Alrighty. Gates of Pandemonium is a continuous spell card. This card is treated as Pandemonium while in your deck. Okay, that's cool. All monsters you control and in your graveyard are treated as Dark Attribute. While this card is phase up on the field, your opponent can activate Gates of Sanctuary from their hand or deck during either player's main phase. And you can discard a card to return a spell or trap card that mentions Zera from your grave to your hand. Gates of Sanctuary, the opposite one, treated as Sanctuary in the Sky while in the deck. All monsters you control enter in the graveyard are treated as light. While this card is face up on the field, your opponent can activate Gates of Pandemonium from their hand, deck, or graveyard during either player's main phase. You can shuffle a level 8 Zera monster from your hand into the deck to draw a card. Alright, sorry, go ahead.
So those two have specifically effects that allow your opponent to play the other card from the deck, which is specifically because you later get an ability to force one of the two gates onto your opponent to force them into either only playing light or dark monsters. So you force one of them onto your opponent and then summon the counterpart onto your side.
Got it. Okay, so I'm seeing Blitz saying that if they're treated as a different animal in the deck, they wouldn't work with higher calling. But we can fix that by just saying they're also treated as those cards while in the deck. So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Netherblade. Equip spell. Target a face-up monster on the field. Equip this card to that target, and its name is treated as Warrior of Zera. Cool. If the monster this card is equipped to is sent to the graveyard, or the monster's name this card is equipped to is Warrior of Zera before equipping this card, you can add a Zera monster with an equal or lower level than the equipped monster, or Archfiend General from your deck to your hand. Is Archfiend General part of this, or is it just because it searches Pandemonium?
So Archfiend General, as far as I understand it of the lore, he's the counterpart to Herald Zeradius. So like there are like Archery General is actually Zera, but like in demon armor. But
Right.
just the name doesn't say it so. So I count it as this archetype as well,
Oh, that's
because it
cool.
allows you to discard it to get the gates of Pandemonium into your hand, and it kind of feels like it belongs to this archetype. So I specified that you can use that one as well.
Cool. I actually don't think I knew that, so thank you for the info.
It's
Okay.
just I think it should be Zera because like with like the Herald, it kind of makes the most sense.
Yeah, yeah, if it's not that, it should. All right, Blade Pack of the Nether Realms is a counter trap card when a monster attacks or uses an effect while a Zera monster is on the field, negate the attack or effect and equip a Nether Blade equip spell from your hand or deck to it. Oh boy. You want to you know what it's like to be Zera? No? You want to find out? All right. I can dig that. Doesn't destroy, but you don't know. They're gonna wish they were destroyed after you give them the Nether Blade.
Yeah.
Um,
So the effect for the Nether Blade, you can like either if you like equip it to something and then like link it away or destroy it, or another way you get the effect, or if it's already a Warrior of Zera, you get the effect as well. So you can actually proc it twice. Not twice in the same turn, but you can like proc it once by putting it on and once by destroying it.
yeah.
So like this specifically like so you can so you're incentivized to not just use the card on its own. Um, so you have like the actual Warriors of Zera in your deck, so you can actually use that one to like to its fullest potential.
Got it. All right. Um, Nomadic Chaos in chat. How do you submit these custom cards, by the way? The custom cards are submitted via the Patreon. If you are joined at the $5 or higher tier, there's like a survey that you can fill out to send me the information. So if you want to join in, we're doing this for 2 more days. Just join the Patreon, and you'll be able to have access to that. All right, Zera, Lord of the Nether Realms, is a level 8 Dark Fiend Ritual monster with 2000 attack and 2300 defense that is always treated as Zera the Mant. This card
It's a
can be ritual.
replacement.
Yeah, so this is one of those ones where you can't play 3 copies of the vanilla and 3 copies of this. You have to kind of pick or choose.
Yeah, because vanilla sucks.
Yeah,
Sadly.
yeah, get that card. We don't even care. We have Lord of the Nether Realms now. We don't need that other one. This card will be ritual summoned with your ritual spell cards, Zera Ritual or Forgotten Temple of the Nether Realms. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Once per turn as a quick effect, you contribute a Zera monster to give your opponent control of one of your spell or trap cards, and if you do, you can take control of one of your opponent's spell or trap cards. Huh. That's a little goofy. So that's what you were talking about earlier. We give the gates to our opponent.
Yeah.
And then if they have like a I don't know. What would be a good thing to steal from them?
Anything that is face down.
Fair enough. It doesn't say it has to be face up, so we can steal unactivated trap cards.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh, it doesn't target either.
Yep.
Oh.
So you can tribute a Zera monster, so if your opponent has the Netherblade on it, you can just blow it up.
That's so
and use the effect for that.
I love it. Okay. Zera the Fallen, level 8 Dark Fairy Synchro monster with 2000 attack and 2300 defense, requiring generic material. If this card for this card Synchro Summon, you can treat a Zera monster you control as a tuner. Neat, very modern design. We don't care about tuners, so we'll just make anything we want a tuner. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can return a banished card to your graveyard, and if you do, you can banish a card from either player's graveyard. And I believe that works with we had something that sent from the extra deck earlier, right? It was Sky Fury?
Yeah. Sky Fury sends the dark monster from your extra deck to the graveyard.
Cool. So that'll shut them off of dark effects, and then we also get to hit their graveyard. That's pretty nifty. All right, Zera the Ascended, Link to Earth Warrior monster with 2800 attack.
Which is the non-corrupted version.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it's Earth attribute. It's like just the regular dude. He's just like reached enlightenment.
Yeah. Also, for the comment in the chat, I made a tuner. I made the mirror, the Zeratus reflection. But I thought it would be like I wanted to make it like similar to how the harpies work, because like well the synchro summon that they have like doesn't really need to be a synchro summon, but I thought like just having that as an opportunity is good as well.
Yeah. This card name becomes Warrior of Zera while in the field, and if this card is link summoned, add a Forgotten Temple of the Netherrealm from your deck to your hand. Oh, that's dangerous. That's so dangerous. Because it's huge. B,
Yeah.
it doesn't say you can't use this card as link material, so you can keep cycling this into other Sarah the Ascendants.
I might want
Just
to edit
keep
that. I
getting
think I might as well just
Netherrealm.
turn it. I think I might turn it into either reduce the attack and turn it into, or turn it into a link 3. But like the 2800 kind of like belongs to its lore because it's like the highest power level that
Yeah.
Zera can reach. So maybe I just turn it into a link 3 or just make it not linkable. Either one of those two would work, I think.
And then real quick, Ada, yeah, if you have just like all of the I think normally some people will do like they'll put all the custom cards in like a dueling book deck list or something, and then send a link to that deck list. That's normally how it gets done. You can either do that or just send all the text via DM. Either one of those is good. Okay, last one, Zera the Tyrant, rank 8, Dark Fiend Xyz monster with 2800 attack and 2300 defense, requiring 2 or more level 8 Zera monsters. But you can also Xyz summon this card by attaching 3 level 8 monsters from the grave to it as material. Just any 3 level 8 monsters?
Yep.
So like you have a blank field, and then you're like, okay, I declare a summon of Tyrant, and then you just pull those out of the graveyard and summon it out?
Yep.
That's goofy. That's so goofy.
But it's actually like diminished in power if you do not use Zera monsters. So like it is just like a body on the field that you can summon for free if you have 3 level 8s on in the graveyard. But if you have a Zera monster, it's actually better.
Got it. Okay, I see that last part of the text. Now, does that mean like if it was attached? Oh no, the effect. Well, it's dependent on the effect detaching it from it. Okay.
Yeah.
Quick effect: you can target one monster on the field and detach a material from this card. If the detached monster was a Zera monster, take control of the targeted card until the end phase. Oh well. See, that's interesting because, like, if we only get the effect if the detached monster was a Zera monster, then I don't think we'd ever want to detach and just get a 2800 point body.
So like the alternative effect is just like a negate. So you can either like negate the ability or steal your opponent's monster.
Oh, it's not being applied to itself. I'm a dingus. I thought it was hitting itself. Gugh.
No, it's still it negates your opponent's monster and just halves attack and defense.
Got it.
Well, because it's a tyrant, it's like overpowering.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's a powerful card. Holy cow. All right. Well, thank you for showing these off. Are there any combos or anything that we haven't talked about?
A few little things that I want to just say is like, there can be some very funny synchro plays that you can do with this deck. Like Final Sigma is very possible to just summon out of nowhere because you have a lot of level 8s and a level 4 tuner.
Makes sense.
And Avenging Knight Parshath is a possibility that you can use. So you can just like change battle position and like piercing damage, which is like it's not the best like abilities, but it's pretty funny. And my favorite, which is the funniest one that I thought of, is Ally of Justice Light Gazer, which is a level 8 synchro monster that gains 200 attack for each light monster in your opponent's graveyard. So if you give them Gates of the Sanctuary, this thing gets big.
Oh my god, yeah, because now they're all lights. Oh, that is amazing. Alrighty. Well, thank you for...
Also, it might be possible to just combine this deck with Alice of Justice, in theory, because you can force your opponents into being light. But like that was just like a thing that I just thought of in the afterthought.
Finally, a shell for Ally of Justice cards, what we've all been waiting for.
I mean, I made support for them last time.
See? There we go. We now know where your biases lie.
Yeah, I like decks that are bad.
Good.
And I want it to be not bad.
All right, well, let's see whether or not it's good or bad on the Nova scale, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so novelty. Basing this off of Zera, so we already have a base level card design to work off of. But there's not a lot of Zera support out there, so I'm very glad we're revisiting it. There's a lot of interesting card design to help get around some old design and to make some really cool new monsters. I think our novelty here is going to be based on the idea of manipulating what spells and traps our opponent has by giving them some. So I think we can give this a 3 on novelty. It's a pretty interesting way to make sure that we bypass having multiple quote-unquote field spells, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like I really wanted to have the possibility to also use the old ones like Mazera Deville and Archfiend Zerato, because they kind of belong to this archetype, but they're like so specific. Also, the fact that Mazera Deville is very broken, and you have to be very careful that you do not make it too accessible. But I just wanted to like have the possibility to give those cards some new life.
For sure. Objectivity. This one I think we have to give a 2 on. Partially because we went through a few problem-solving card text things that would need to be tweaked to bring this up to standard on that one.
Yeah.
And also because some of these cards are just outrageously powerful. And I lay a lot of that on Zera the Tyrant. Even though the effect is weaker, you can play this in any level 8 deck, essentially for free. Like, you could play this in Blue Eyes, just put 3 of them on there.
I mean, you take the material of the graveyard and just summoning like Blue Eyes deck. Like any Blue Eyes has like a similar power level in my eyes. And just like you have to specifically like sacrifice 3 monsters in the graveyard that you cannot use as material for other stuff by summoning it. So I think it kind of counterbalances itself, but I could be wrong there.
Double, I believe, pointed out that Zera the Tyrant does not have a once per turn clause. So if we need to free up that material, it's very easy to just shunt all of them and steal our opponent's monsters.
Yeah, I mean, you can only steal your opponent's monsters if it's actually a Zera monster that you use.
Oh, or debuff them. Either way, we're just, like, knocking them out.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty funky. So, that's a lot of power level. I think we can get a 2 on that one.
I might just change it to banish the monster when you discard it. Which could, like, maybe make it, like, more in line.
Versatility. Okay, so what is... It's very specific to the Zera archetype, and a lot of our support revolves around Pandemonium and Sanctuary in the Sky. But technically, Sanctuary in the Sky does have a ton of other support in, like, the Heralds. So, this could be... Like, you could splash in at least some of, like, the agents in here as, like, another engine. Huh. And also with all the light and dark stuff, there's all, like, the chaos monsters. I think we can put this a 4 on versatility. I could see this being run as just another really good, like, engine to play in other chaos-related decks.
Nice.
And awesomeness, it's getting a 5. Look, I'm sorry, folks. It's the fucking Zera archetype. We're bringing back randomly discard 3 cards from our opponent's deck. It's live. It's so good. It's so cool.
Also,
I can't say no to this.
Just to make sure that everybody is aware of that, I had that nickname before I even knew what Yu-Gi-Oh was. So, don't come at me.
So it was fate.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, these Zera cards getting a 14 on the Nova scale. Very solid scoring. Zera, is there anything you want to talk to the audience about before we move on to our next guest?
Not that I can think of. I hope you enjoyed my card. Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can think of up for next time because I actually like ran out of like most of my backlog. But there is one thing that I have not yet finished, which I might can showcase next time.
Ooh.
Which is I started creating an archetype around Armory Arm.
Give now. I am the Armory Arm. Give her.
Yeah, I was starting about like making different kinds of Armory Arms and like kind of like have them like mech-like, right? Like they're like assembling together and stuff like that. So gotta see how that works out, and like I'm gonna showcase that sometime in the future.
Whoa, cloth armor archetype real?
Anyway,
all right.
See you.
See you later. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Okay.
No problem. Have fun.
You have fun.
I will.
Good. I'm glad. Take care.
Take care.
Alrighty. Well, that was cool. Oh, I should reiterate. Look, if I ever say that a card is, like, goofy or powerful, I don't mean that as a knock, like, that's unbalanced. I think it's cool. I can't help but remark on the power level of things when they come up, but that's so cool. Okay. So, let's see here.
Hello
Next
there,
up we have... Hey, Zeno! How's it going?
Good, and one thing. All those tripodsite decks that you suggested, cursed. All of them.
Hee. Haha. Goofy little guy. That's me.
Anyways.
Yeah, how you doing today, Zeno?
Doing good.
Alrighty. So, we have here today what looks like an extension of last month's cards. Some more Wonder World Stars.
Yes, and before we start, big piece of tech came out. Side deck. Harmonic Synchro Fusion.
Yeah, let's go!
Yeah, that's probably the biggest piece of tech for the archetype.
So now we can get two of these bunglers out at the same time.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, last time around, we saw the first wave of the Wonder World cards. These ones, I believe in the side deck, were kind of our starters. A lot of Geminis. We're working on a bunch of normal monsters, light support. Really trying to utilize an underutilized mechanic in the game via Wonder World stuff to gain access to some really powerful, really cool extra deck monsters. But Zenomaro let us know that that was like the base version of the deck, and over the next few months we would be seeing different specific versions of it based on the different worlds that you would go through in Balan Wonder World, and I believe this is going to be our first one.
This represents the first 6 of the levels, essentially.
Oh, all 6 of them?
Well, the
first 6?
Basically, yeah, the first 6 out of 12.
Alrighty. Alright, well, is there anything else you want to preface before we get started?
Just know that they do come in pairs, and you'll see that in the stats.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Real quick, Nomadic Chaos, thank you for the $6. Is it too late to submit decks since I wanted to submit a Flame Swordsman and a Light of Destruction sword if it's still possible? Yeah, we are still accepting, custom cards. You just have to join the Patreon, which is linked, oh my god, I don't even know if I have it linked. It should be linked down below. If you go there on the Patreon, there is a way to sign into the form and get that set up. So that's how you do that. Thank you again, Nomadic. Alrighty. First up, we have Tornado Wolf, the Wonder World Star, a level 1 light monster with 300 attack and 100 defense. It is a Beast Gemini monster with all the usual Gemini conditions. When it becomes an effect monster, once per turn, you can remove a Wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, shuffle one card your opponent controls into the deck.
Yep.
And we had things like Stage that was going to be getting us just a ton of counters all the time.
Stage, Gate of Joy, and Gate of Sorrow.
Got it.
That's 3 cards that can actively generate counters.
So we have a ton of ways to just spend stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up is Dynamic Dolphin, the Wonderworld Star, a level 1 light aqua Gemini monster, 300 attack, 200 defense. Once it has its effect, once per turn, you can remove a wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, put a card in your opponent's hand back on top of their deck. Oh, that's dangerously good. Yeah, that's cool. I'll just Fate Seal you. Hope that card helps you out next turn, buddy.
Yeah, also, Dynamic Dolphin and Tornado Wolf are a pair. Notice how their attack stat is basically both their defense stats put together. That's so far you can tell that they're paired up.
Okay, okay.
They represent the first 2 levels.
Cool, cool. All right, next is Dusk Butterfly, a level 2 insect Gemini monster, 700 attack, 300 defense. Once it gains its effect, once per turn, you can remove a wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, flip one spell or trap card they control face down. It cannot be activated until the start of your next turn. Okay, so it's like, oh, you have a floodgate? Good luck dealing with it next turn, because I'm not. Voomp.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I don't think we have any cards that do that to spell and trap cards, and honestly, we should have more of them.
Yeah. I'm honestly kind of wondering why that isn't the case, because flipping things face down is a clear way of dealing with something.
Yeah, you can do it with monsters already. Let's bring it back for spells and traps.
And literally with traps, that's kind of how you do it. They get sprung, and then if it's a continuous trap, why not just flip it back face down?
Just put it back there. All right, next up is Aero Acrobat, the Wonderworld Star, level 2 light winged beast Gemini monster, 700 attack, 400 defense. Once it gains its effect, once per turn, you can remove a wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, destroy one card your opponent controls. All right, that's just some spot removal. We love to see it. Aircat, the Wonderworld Star, is a level 3 beast Gemini monster with 1100 attack and 600 defense. Once it gains its effect, once per turn, you can remove a wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, select one card in your opponent's hand and put it on the bottom of their deck. So not quite as powerful as Dynamic Dolphin, but it still rips a card out of their hand without triggering anything, so it's still pretty good. Next is Guardian Bird, the Wonderworld Star, level 3 light winged beast Gemini monster, 1100 attack, 500 defense. Once per turn, you can remove one wonder counter from a card you control, and if you do, target one monster your opponent controls and change that target to face down defense position. So it's just Book of Moon. Alrighty, next up we have Wonderworld Welcome, a normal spell card. Remove a wonder counter from a card you control, then special summon one Wonderworld monster from your deck. You can't conduct your battle phase when you activate this effect.
Nova, you just got on a glitch that you just suffered from a glitch that I get on occasion.
Oh.
My mic wasn't picking me up, but I just said that sure, Guardian Bird can't really work on Link monsters, but it works on everything else.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like we're no longer in the era of like Link monster domination. They're around, but there's still plenty of things you can flip face down to get value out of.
Yep. So what do you think of Wonderworld Welcome?
I mean, like giving up your battle phase is in general a very pricey thing to do, and I'm not a fan of it, but the deck doesn't seem to be like trying to OTK the opponent out of nowhere. We have a lot of really good value effects that just kind of make our opponent less effective. So I think if this is a control deck, we can afford to lose a battle phase or two just to get our monsters into rotation. Especially because by special summoning them, our normal summon is still alive to get them activated. Unless we use one of the effects we already have to turn them into an effect monster.
Yeah.
Hey, are all Patreon options available for custom card reviews? Everything $5 and up. I say that because some people have joined below the $5 tier to get stuff when I was like allowing it for everyone. But as long as your $5 or higher, then yeah, it's available for everyone at that point higher to submit custom stuff. All right. Next up is Wonderworld Confrontation, a counter trap card. If a Wonderworld monster you control is attacked, remove 2 wonder counters from a card you control to negate that attack. Then if you control a dark attribute Wonderworld monster, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Which we do have in the form of Lance here, just a ridiculously powerful card. And so we're going to make them regret attacking very much. Oh, 26 Nova makes a good point. The battle phase doesn't mean anything because Runics exist and they're one of the most powerful decks ever. So actually, I take everything I said back. Wonderworld Welcome is actually a fair and balanced card that's very powerful.
Yep.
All right, next up is Wonderworld Greeting, a counter trap card. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, remove a Wonder counter from a card you control, then special summon a Dark Attribute Wonderworld monster from your grave. While both monsters are on the field, their effects are negated.
The way that's worded, that restriction immediately gets removed once one of the monsters leaves the field.
Yeah, so as long as you get rid of the other one, so as long as you get rid of your opponent's monster first, you will get all the benefits once that happens.
Yes. It's a way. The best way to do that is actually to summon. If you have a monster that you already want to keep on the field, use Greetings to get a monster that you're willing to just get sent back to the graveyard. In other words, you're baiting your opponent to target something else.
Alrighty. Next up, let's go to Bartholomew, the Wonderworld Storm, a level 4 Dark Beast Synchro monster with 1300 attack and 100 defense, requiring a Dark Tuner monster and a Light Wonderworld Star non-tuner monster. If this card was Synchro summoned using a normal monster as material, its effects are negated, and once per turn as a quick effect, you may shuffle up to 3 cards your opponent controls into the deck. You cannot summon Light Attribute monsters the turn you activate this effect. Oh my god, that's so good.
Note this is basically a beefed up version of Tornado Wolf.
Yeah, very powerful. As for free, as a quick effect, just 3 of their cards go away.
But you cannot summon light attribute monsters to turn you activate its effect.
Oh,
that checks before and after.
Okay, then I guess there's a bit of time that you can use before this gets online, considering the material. So I suppose this is a little better. But oh man, once this gets online, this card is bonkers.
Yeah, also note, you can't just summon Tornado Wolf, then immediately sink into the... You can't just summon it like any Wonderworld star and then sink into this. You need to make sure that's an effect monster first.
Yeah. So there are some hoops to jump through.
Yes. Also, all the extra deck monsters, each of them correspond to one of the Wonderworld stars that we've seen already.
Yeah, so this one is Bartholomew. Or this one is Tornado with Bartholomew.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one, Angelica, I assume is associated with the Dynamic Dolphin.
Yes.
Alrighty. Angelica, the Wonderworld Aquatic, level 4 Aqua Fiend Dark Fusion monster with 1300 attack and 200 defense, requiring a dark monster and, there it is, Dynamic Dolphin, the Wonderworld Stars material. If this card was fusion summoned using a normal monster, its effects are negated, and once per turn as a quick effect, you may put up to 3 cards your opponent controls on top of their deck. You cannot summon light attribute monsters the turn you activate this effect. Alright, now that's a bit scarier, because while Bartholomew requires synchro material, which usually means they have to be on the field, we could just fusion summon the material out of the hand, and then they were never a normal monster. Ooh, that's powerful. That's okay.
Just until you see later ones, that's gonna ramp up a lot.
Oh goodness. Okay, I've joined how many my decks. The instructions should be on the document, but just in case, you basically just DM me like a link to the custom cards, or just post them in the DMs. That's how you do it. All right. Next up is Wormsworth, the Wonderworld Infestation. Wormwort. Sorry, I had to get the Nightmare Before Christmas out of my systems. Anyway, it takes a Dark Tuner monster and light Wonderworld Star non-tuner monster. If this card was synchro summoned using a normal monster, its effects are negated, and once per turn as a quick effect, you can flip up to 3 spell or trap cards your opponent controls face down, and they cannot be activated until the end of your next turn. You cannot summon light attribute monsters when you activate this effect. Okay, so this is a bit more reasonable, and it expands on the shutting down spells and traps for a turn, which I think is pretty cool.
Yep, and corresponds to Dusk Butterfly.
Yeah. For further correspondence, we have Warville Wright, the Wonderworld Aviator, a dark level 5 winged beast fusion monster with 1700 attack and 400 defense, requiring a dark monster and Arrow Acrobat, the Wonderworld Star, as material. It has the usual restriction: if you use a normal monster, its effects are negated, and once per turn, as a quick effect, you can destroy up to 3 cards your opponent controls. And you can't summon light attribute monsters that you activate this effect. Also very powerful. I guess if you have destruction protection, you have a bit more, which is a bit more prevalent. Warville isn't quite as interactive, but whoo boy, that's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Cuckoo, the Wonderworld Avian, which I believe is supposed to go with Guardian Bird.
Yes.
Level 6 Dark Synchro Winged Beast monster with 2100 attack and 500 defense, requiring a Dark Tuner and a Light Wonderworld Star monster. Has the usual Wonderworld Extra Deck monster restrictions, and once per turn as a quick effect, you can change up to 3 monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Heyo! That's like Super Book of Moon. And then our last one here is Perla, the Wonderworld Time Traveler, a level 6 Dark Beast Fusion monster with 2100 attack and 600 defense, requiring a Dark monster and an Air Cat, the Wonderworld Star, as fusion material. Has our usual extra deck Wonderworld restrictions on there, and once per turn as a quick effect, you may put up to 2 cards from your opponent's hand back on the bottom of their deck. Yikes. Well, these are some pretty powerful cards. What was the card that enabled our fusion summons again?
That would be Lance, the Wonderworld Maestro.
This guy. Remove 1 wonder counter from this card. Troll if you do special summon a corrupted token. Okay. All right, well, those are some pretty funky cards. Are there any interactions that we skipped over that you would like to bring to the audience?
Let it be known that using Harmonic Synchro Fusion with this deck is a very viable strategy in order to get 2 out at once, because using the proper material for the fusion monsters, you can also grab the same leveled Synchro monster.
Yeah, and if you thought these cards were powerful by themselves beforehand, then boy howdy. Oh, you know what's even better? Harmonic Synchro Fusion does not fusion or synchro summon the monsters that you use. So that means all those restrictions about, like, if this card was synchro summoned using a normal monster as material, it's not going to matter because you didn't synchro or fusion summon them. You just special summon them.
Yeah,
That's
the only
awesome.
real thing is that you need to make sure that you've actually, made Lance into an effects monster, because that changes his attribute to dark.
Yes, you do have to do that at least. You could easily play branded with these fusions: Branded Fusion, Albaz, and Dolphin for Albion. Make Albion. For branded fusion, it has to specifically list Albaz as material. So even though Albaz is a dark monster, we wouldn't be able to use it for the fusions. At least with branded fusion, I'm sure we could just polymerization, and that would be very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So with that covered.
Also note that with later monsters in the archetype, you can use Harmonic Synchro Fusion to get 2 Lance, the Wonderworld Corruptors, out onto the field.
Exquisite. Yeah, I'm not gonna rehash this, but folks, this card is bonkers. Alrighty, so I believe it's time for the Nova Scale then.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, novelty. Boy, I gotta start taking notes about what I give these things beforehand. I believe Gemini. Gemini, there was that.
Oh, I guess actually there's one thing. Now that we've seen this, we basically have a clear picture of what the strategy of the archetype is. Use your light monsters on effects on your turn, then you can bring out the extra deck to use their effects on the opponent's turn.
and just ruin their entire board. Just mess them up.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so novelty. I think we're gonna go ahead and give these little bumpkins a 3. Unless we give them a 4, I forget because we don't do a lot of Gemini stuff.
I think they did get a 4 last time.
Let's do 4. I think 4 is fine. Let's do that 4. Because we don't see a lot of like Gemini focus. Like we have things that have Geminis as like a peripheral thing, but bringing Geminis back I think was a great idea. It cares a lot about attributes in regards to that. I think it's pretty cool. Objectivity, are these cards balanced? I don't know if I'm overhyping this, but things like Bartholomew and Angelica are outrageous. That's so powerful.
Do note, though, they have really low stats.
Though they have low stats, but you don't have to worry about your stat line if your opponent doesn't have anything.
Fair enough.
Oh my gosh.
And without Lance Corruptor there, they have 0 protection.
That's fair, but have you considered that if they have no cards, there's nothing they need protection against?
Fair enough. If you can get it to the point where you're literally just wiping away what little progress they can make, then they're kind of in a win state.
I'm gonna give this a 3. I'm not gonna go too much on it because I'm worried there might be some things I'm missing here. But boy howdy, some of these effects are off their rocker, so I'm just gonna give it a 3 and hope I don't get proven wrong in the future. Okay, versatility. Has normal monster synergies, has light and dark synergies. As we were saying as we have had people in the chat point out, even though branded fusion isn't able to do it, it does go into like Albion, and then Albion can do the summons, which that is very viable for a lot of these. So we could play this in those decks. We could do that. So I think, on top of like other normal monster light and dark synergies, I think this is also at least a 3 on that scale. We do need to have like the Wonderworld counters, or the Wonder counters for our main deck monsters, but they're not necessarily needed for our extra deck monsters. So
far.
But for these ones, we don't necessarily... And if we're splashing it, I feel like we care more about these extra deck monsters than the main deck ones, especially if we're trying to cheat them out. So I think 3 is good and awesome. Look, when I read rip 3 cards out of my opponent's hand and they'll never see them again, I get dizzy from how, like, my head is spinning from how wild that is. I love that so much. We're giving this wave a 15 on the Nova scale. Alrighty, well, thank you very much for showing these off. Any last words for the audience while you're here?
Be ready for next month. The finale is a little trippy.
Oh?
Trust me when I say, if you were a little lightheaded after reading these effects, you might end up fainting for next month.
Ooh, alright, well, I'll make sure to get like some extra pillows around here so I don't hurt myself. Well, thank you very much, and I will catch you on the Discord, alright?
Okay.
Alright, bye!
Bye!
Good fellow. Alright, next up we have Blue Gem.
Here.
Hey! How's it going? Here, that's also on Dueling Books, or not Dueling Book, it's Google document. I believe the archetype that I saw this document and I'm like, I've got to make this the thumbnail. The Divine Arsenal stuff. Holy cow. What got you on the track to making Divine Arsenal support? Blue Gem, can you hear me? I'm getting some audio from your end, but I'm not getting any voices. Yeah, I'm not picking anything up.
All right, are you picking stuff up now?
Oh, there we go. I gotcha.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to do it with my phone because my computer won't charge properly. I got to get that fixed.
Oh, great. I love when computers do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Laptop.
Well, then I will
Right.
ask again, what got you on the track to making Divine Arsenal support?
I felt like Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder was such a waste of a good archetype name.
You know what? That's fair. Here's hoping
That's about it.
Here's hoping that we finally get it in Phantom Nightmare, because clearly this set is going to be the sequel to Phantom Rage.
Yep. And also, we do have support for an entirely different archetype after this, so...
Oh, good. All right. Oh, okay. Yep. I had to spoil myself. I'm very excited. Okay. So, anything else we want to talk about in preface before we get into these cards?
Unless you mean the archetypal effect at the top of the screen, then no, let's go on. Then let's go ahead.
Yeah, so it appears that we have a consistent effect here. If you control no Xyz monsters, or you only control Divine Arsenal Xyz monsters, you can special summon these monsters from your hand or graveyard, and when this card is special summoned, you can change this monster's level to 12. So, I guess we're just hard making Zeus in this archetype.
It's hard making Zeus and a few others.
Oh. Folks, give it up for Super Galaxy Destroying Robo.
Nope.
Dang it.
That's not what I'm naming them. I'm sticking with the gods themes.
Alright, Divine Arsenal Pilot Jupiter is a level 4 light machine monster with 1900 attack and 1100 defense. I'm going to skip over the other effect for everyone at home because Blue Gem made sure to talk about this beforehand.
That's why I highlighted them.
That's good. Their unique effect is if this card was sent from the field to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add a Divine Arsenal monster from your deck to your hand equal to this monster's level when it was on the field. Okay.
And then hard ones per turn.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's also good. We want to make sure our searches are once per turn, otherwise things get funky. Alright, next up is Divine Arsenal Pilot Neptune, a level 4 water machine monster with 1500 attack and defense. Its unique effect is once per turn when this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon up to 2 Divine Arsenal monsters with the same name from your hand. Now, that will not proc their level change effect, is that correct? No, that's a separate effect. My bad. I can see that it's separate. So we can do that. Okay.
It will affect their level change effect.
Alrighty. Okay, next up we have Divine Arsenal Pilot Orcus, a level 4 Dark Machine monster with 1400 attack and 1600 defense.
Orceus or something? I don't know. It's Orcus, whatever.
I believe Orcus is like the D&D god of the undead. But it might also be derived from...
I tried going with, like...
stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
When this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Send cards on the field or hand up to... Send cards...
Yep, or hand from the... On the field or hand.
Okay, send cards on the field or hand... to the graveyard, I assume.
To the graveyard. Yeah, I really rushed that one. I tried copying Stratus's effect, but clearly failed.
Got it.
So it's supposed to be just sending cards from the field to the graveyard. I thought that maybe I could work with it, but nope, I missed it. It's meant to be from the hand. It's meant to be from the field to the graveyard. It's just a pop.
And that's either field?
Yeah, either field.
Okay. So it's like a miniature version of the Zeus that we all know and love.
Yep. Kind of.
And
then the second effect.
Yeah, or we can add a Divine Arsenal spell or trap card from our deck to our hand.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Moving on to the spell and traps.
We've got Divine Arsenal Hanger, field spell card. Once per turn, you can target one monster on the field, add a Divine Arsenal monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand, and once per turn, you can target one Divine Arsenal Xyz monster on the field, then reveal one Divine Arsenal monster in your hand and attach the revealed monster to the target as material. Hey!
Yep.
We don't gotta wait for cards to be destroyed. We're just gonna attach it anyway.
Yep. It's
Alright.
just gonna do that anyways, because why not?
It's fine, it's fine. Alright, Divine Arsenal Gathering. If your opponent normal spell card. I assume it's a normal spell card.
It's a normal spell.
Okay. If your opponent controls...
And the next one's a normal trap.
Got it. If your opponent controls more monsters than you can special summon up to 3 Divine Arsenal monsters from your deck or graveyard, and you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck from the extra deck, except Xyz or Link monsters the turn you activate this card. And then Divine Arsenal Suit Up is a normal trap card. Special summon 1 Link monster using Divine Arsenal monsters in your grave by shuffling the required material into the deck. Good grief.
Yep.
Holy calzone. Okay, I gotta get through the rest of these before we start. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, I just said yep. Just now we're on to the Link and Xyz monsters.
Alrighty. Divine Arsenal D is a Link 1 Wind Machine monster with 1500 attack. The arrow is down.
Bottom middle. Down, yeah.
You requiring 1 non-Xyz Divine Arsenal monster as material. Quick effect, you can target 1 monster you control, special summon 1 Xyz monster using this monster and the monster targeted, treating this card as the targeted monster's level. When this card is used for an Xyz summon, that monster gains this effect. Once per turn, this card can use 1 material as 2. Ooh, okay. That's pretty funky, so we give it, we put it under Zeus, and one of their activations only costs 1.
Yep. I thought I would have to explain that one more. I tried.
It's certainly
I just thought I would.
It's certainly not an effect that we've ever seen. So, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think maybe it would have to be worded as once per turn, if this monster would detach material for its effect, you can treat 1 material as 2 material for the purposes of activating its effect, something like that. But
yeah, something like that.
I get what you mean from this wording right here.
Yeah.
That's pretty nifty. I worry what happens if you want to fill up your graveyard though, because it doesn't say a non-Xyz or non-Link Divine Arsenal monster, so you can just immediately throw 2 of these into the graveyard if you wanted to, but I'm not sure what the synergy with that would be.
There really isn't any. You're meant to only use 1.
Got it. Alright, next up is Divine Arsenal BB Poseidon Sea Whirlpool, a rank 12 water Xyz machine monster with 3000 attack and defense, requiring 2 level 12 monsters. Once per turn, if an Xyz monster battled this turn, you can also Xyz summon Divine Arsenal BB Poseidon Sea Whirlpool by using 1 Xyz monster you control as material, and it transfers its materials onto this card. As a quick effect, you can detach 2 material from this card to shuffle all other cards from the field into the deck. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can detach 1 card from your hand, graveyard, or banished zone to this card as material.
Yep.
So, I wouldn't say this is strictly better than Zeus, because I think things like Tearlaments like being sent to the graveyard with it. But in most other scenarios, this seems like a straight upgrade.
Yeah, they serve different options. Poseidon is meant to just shuffle stuff back into the deck. Zeus, they have different strengths and weaknesses. There are reasons you would want to use Zeus over Poseidon.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, next up is Divine Arsenal CC Hades, a Hades Cave Fire, a rank 12 machine Xyz monster with 3000 attack and defense.
Dark Xyz.
Oh, what did I say?
It's you just didn't mention the attribute.
Oh, my bad. Okay, rank 12 Dark Machine Xyz monster with 3000 attack and defense, requiring 2 level 12 monsters, has the, what I must call the usual Divine Arsenal Xyz monster effect of ranking up.
Yeah.
And as a quick effect, you can detach 2 material from this card to banish all other cards on the field. And then we have the attach effect.
Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty strong. I want this card. Can I have this card right now, please?
I mean, the Dueling Book is there.
I'm in.
I don't know how to make stuff on Dueling Book. That's the only downside.
Got it.
And it is very clear from how these cards are just haven't been play tested.
Alrighty. And then next up we have, I guess, the bonus cards this week.
Bonus cards. But like I would like a different Nova scale for the Divine Arsenals and these bonus cards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, the Plunder Patrol new recruits for hire. Continuous spell card. All monsters for hire are treated as Plunder Patrol monsters, and all Plunder Patrol monsters are treated as monsters for hire. That's awesome.
War crime. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be able to cause war crime.
Yes! I will be playing Runic Plunder for hire now. Thank you very much. I now have my bridge. Let's go!
I just meant for Plunder for hire to be a deck.
Yeah, so now I'm just going to discard Whitebeard. I will summon Dino from deck. I'm going to search Recruit for hire, Rookie for hire. Rex is a level 2, so we'll get Beat on board. Use Beat's effect, Tribute Beat, summon Redbeard from deck. It's going to be amazing.
Yep, that's the exact type of war crimes I want.
I love Plunder for hire. Ada, we are of one mind on this one. Plunder hire, let's go!
All three of us are on one mind
Let's
because
go!
that's always one. Also, I also do have like idea for an art for this one.
Wait, sorry, one sec. Before I lose it, the field spell Fandora. There we go. We found our wind ship. There we go. What's the art look like?
Okay, the art would look like Raphael. I think the dragon one. I don't know how to pronounce.
I think it's like Raphael, but I know what you're talking about.
Raphael, Dinah, and Sagittaria just dressed up as pirates on a ship
That's
with
awesome.
Plunder Patrols off to the side.
Raphael holds a knife to the Plunder Patrol chief's throat. Tell me your persona, you scurvy dog. I'm not a dog.
Right.
That's the one over there. You don't say that to Folgo. He's a proud wolf of the Stee.
All right. Now we got one that's gonna absolutely. Now we have the proper boss monster for hire.
All right. Stella, Bowman for hire, is a Link 4 Dark Winged Beast Link 4 monster with 3200 attack with top, bottom right, bottom left. So we have our Appaloosa arrows. Cannot be used as link material. If this card is link summoned, you can add a monster for hire with a different type from the monsters used for its link summon from your deck to your hand, and once per turn you can banish a monster for hire from your hand or grave, use its effect as if it were summoned by the effect of a monster for hire, and gain its attack points.
Yep.
Just permanently?
No, that's meant to be until the end of the turn.
Okay. Still though, that's pretty big. Holy cow.
Would you like an example on how are you confused about that effect at all? Because I can explain how I want that effect to look.
I think we've seen some similar things to this, like you banish a for hire monster, and then
You banish it for hire.
Yeah, you banish a for hire, and then you activate the effect of like there's like use effect as if it were summoned. Now that if this monster was summoned, it would only work for things like Raphael and Wiz, because
That
the other
part
for
would
hires
work
are
for
like when another one is summoned.
Yeah, but it also gains their special summon effect
To summon out of the hand?
to summon out of the hand. Yeah, it also gains those.
Okay, because the card doesn't say that, so that's why I was confused.
Well, it's meant to gain like every effect of that monster. So take Beat. Take Beat for example.
Yeah.
You would banish Beat from hand or graveyard, and then you would be able to both normal summon it, and then you'd be able to special summon from hand, and then you would be able to activate Beat's effect when another one special summon.
Okay. So it would be like, once per turn, you can banish a monster for hire from your hand or graveyard, apply its effect as if the monster was special summoned, and then it also gains this effect, you can special summon a for hire monster from your hand.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, we do the attack again effect.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, well, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Like the Therians? Yeah, kind of like the Therians, I think. Somewhere around those lines.
Yeah, something like that.
Alrighty. Well, those are pretty goofy. Anything else we want to talk about between the Fur Hires and or Divine Arsenal cards before we move on to the Nova Scales?
Neptune is the target for machine duplication.
How do we lower its attack power?
Oh wait, I don't think I read machine duplication. Whoops.
Okay, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to be, but that's just like the comedic timing on that I think was really good.
I don't think I read that properly.
Okay, but if it was 500 attack, we would dupe it.
You would, yeah.
So that summons 2 of them. That summons 2 more copies, so we have 3 of them. And then we summon 2 more same-named Divine Arsenals out of our hand, and now they're level 12 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have 5 level 12s to play with.
That is, oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So, I guess I'll go ahead and get started then, if you got any, unless you have anything else?
Nope, nothing else.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and grab this here.
So, two Nova Scales, one for the Divine Arsenals, one for the For Hire stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the Divine Arsenal. Broken Kale, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. So, novelty. We have a Divine Arsenal monster, obviously, but we don't have an archetype for it. So we're at a good start making an archetype for this monster that it has lore. There is a book out there that outlines that this card was made as a weapon by a military force. There's clearly thought put into this, and now
there's more of them.
And now there's more of them. So
and they're pilots,
as one would have for giant mechas. So we're filling a niche here that needs to be accounted for. That being said, the mechanics of these, we have seen how we deploy these beforehand. We have our thing that gets us more material on board. We have our consistency gatherer. So the theming of the card, I think, is unique. We've seen how it deploys these cards beforehand. So I think our novelty, we can place it at like a 3. I think we get 3 on the novelty on that one.
All right.
Unless I'm missing anything. Okay, so objectivity. Are these cards balanced? Is there problem-solving card text put together? I know that we ran into some snags when it came to the problem-solving card text. So next we're looking at the power level on these things. It does let us just immediately go into what has to be at least different flavors of one of the most powerful Xyz monsters ever printed. Like, if you can make Zeus, you're putting it in your deck. There's almost no reason not to. And so now we have different flavors of that. One. Oh yeah, unless you don't have one. If you're not running Xyz, then there's no point. But even if you can, like, splash Xyz monsters into your deck, like
frickin' Light Dragon Mr. Cough Cough.
Crystal Beasts are running this. Because you can just put it on a Borbo, or you can make a Chakanine, make a Borbo.
Make a Light Dragon Mr. because it's just that good.
It's just that good. All this kind of stuff. So we get to just hard make that for free by utilizing our ways to summon this. And then we have our Divine Arsenal D, which is a really great enabler. Gathering is great. These cards are really strong. I'm giving this a 3 on objectivity as well, because these cards are really powerful.
Before we actually continue, I was actually planning on making 4 divine arsenals, I was gonna plan on making like a single letter be the link monster, double letters be, and then double letters be the Exceeds monsters. But I decided to pull back on that.
Okay, we'll just make it a 2 then. It's fine. No, I'm
We're just
joking. It's a
making-
3. It's a 3.
All right.
Okay, versatility. There are not really a lot of lockouts that I can see here. Am I missing any, like...
Nope.
Yeah, so on top of... Because, like, the changing to level 12 is optional, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Why do you think they're level 4s? That's optional.
Yeah, so we can splash in a bunch of level 4 stuff. Any deck that can utilize that. It's machines. We want to see this being played with machine duplication, apparently, so that's a whole other...
I wanted to, but I didn't. I messed it up. Because I wanted all of the non-Xyz monsters attack to equal 3,000. Attack and defense to equal 3,000.
Oh, it's okay. We can just get a 500 attack, 2,500 defense level 4 monster. That's super valid. I mean, if a Gravekeeper's Spy with a field spell does that, and that was 2 decades ago, we're definitely at that point in power creep. Right?
Probably.
Okay, so the versatility on this one is, it's got to be a 5. It has to be a 5. You can play this in almost anything.
Yeah.
And then awesomeness, they're fucking awesome, dude. What the fuck do you want me to tell? What do you want me to say? They're giant machines that just blow up the entire board.
5.
It's a 5. It's a 5.
I want you to say 5.
It's a 5. It's a 5 on awesomeness. It's so cool. Holy
and then
cow.
quickly over to for hire real stuff because I gotta get back to something.
Okay, real quick for hires. Novelty. I'm gonna keep it a 3 on here. These are archetypes we've already talked about, but because we're mixing archetypes together with the continuous spell, that's awesome. I don't think we've seen an effect like that one, so we're gonna keep it a 3. Objectivity. These decks are super busted when you put them together, I feel like. And the Link monster is a little goofy. I'll go ahead and put it at a 4 because they're a little off meta. But hopefully one day we'll have a tournament that proves that For Hire Plunder Patrol is the best deck ever. Versatility, I'm going to go ahead and knock this down to a 3 because it's specifically only for those 2 archetypes, and Plunder Patrol is pretty xenophobic itself, so we're just going to do that. And awesome, it's going to stay at a 5 because it's super awesome. So this is a 15. It's a little less, but it's still a pretty solid number.
Yep. Hey, those are better than the ones I did last time.
Alrighty, well, any final words for the audience before we have to go do what you have to do?
Be prepared for next month. I'm doing a Yokai Watch archetype.
Oh! Alright. Let's go. Claps for level 5 in chat. Alright, take care. Have yourself a good one, okay?
Alright, later.
Alrighty. Well, that's a funky archetype. I want that. Someone go to Konami and make that deck for me right now, please. Alrighty, let's go ahead and check our list here. Bada bing, bada boom, bada babarino. Okay, so this is the prescribed break time I'm giving myself here. We're going to take about 5 minutes. I'm going to throw an ad on here. I'm going to refresh my drink. I'm going to see about snacking on a little something to get my energy up. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I guess I'll also take this moment to do all of my usual shilling really quickly since we're kind of in intermission. Stuff like this is supported by viewers like you. I wouldn't be able to be anywhere near this without your help. So if you are able to become a channel member, if you're able to join the Patreon, anything like that would be greatly appreciated. And of course, subscribing and pressing the little like button also helps boost all this stuff. It really means a lot. I will check in with all of you in just a few minutes. Like I said, don't go nowhere, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bah. All right, I'm back. I'm feeling energized. I'm ready to begin the next level of today's custom card reviews. Who do we got next up on the docket here? I'm seeing Rush Hands. Rush Hands wants to talk about some cards, and I am more than happy to oblige. Rush Hands, if you are available right now, please make your way to the Battle Dome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello, hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
this is my second time being here. Forgive me if I'm not charismatic because I just got off of a double.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, first off, I've been doing this for a while now, and I have 0 Riz, so you can't do much worse than me. Second, yeah, if you're working a double, obviously, please take your time. Do what you gotta do. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
try to be as lively as possible. We'll see how this goes.
Alrighty, so I see that we have Dino Wraiths today. What do you have to tell us about this outstanding looking archetype?
I saw the art and I thought to myself, this has to be an archetype. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it at first, but there were too many colors and too much coolness for me to pass up on. So I had to throw something together. Then I ran out of like the actual artworks. There was just enough to get dark, wind, earth, water, and fire for the main deck, and I think that's pretty much almost all of them. I had to makeshift the dark one for the Xyz, and the last two, that last spell and trap there, I had to also edit those. But other than that, everything was already there. There was really nothing for me to, put together or throw.
Outstanding. Who made these? I'm super curious.
Okay, so there's an artist. See, I came prepared this time because last time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know their name, but all the information will be there once you go. On Pinterest, there's an artist called who has a nice little package of artwork called Paleo Idol, which honestly that would have been a good name in its own, but I didn't want to use the exact name that he used. They used. And I didn't want to give the actual name of that artist because there's a couple of different artists who kind of put something into the other ones that are here. Like there are various different types. So I don't want to just put one name and kind of rule anybody out. But yeah.
Okay, so Paleo Idols is like a like a drawing meme across several artists, like just a thing that people contribute to.
Yeah, I think there's a main artist, and then there's like a couple people who were like, "Oh, damn, this is a really nice idea. Let me kind of pay homage to the artist, the original artist." So
Cool.
There's a couple different ones, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, challenge to the audience, if you can find anything about the Paleo Idols who started this, I'd love to share that information. So if any of you find of that, please feel free to share here so that we can get them some love. For now, I believe we have some cool cards to look at. Anything else we need to cover before we get started?
No, not that I know of. It's pretty cut and dry.
Alrighty. Then we'll start with Dino Wraith Amaryllis, a level 4 Dark Dinosaur monster with 300 attack and 2100 defense. You can discard one other Dino Wraith card to special summon this card from your hand, then you can draw one card, and if you do, you can attach this card to a rank 4 Dark Xyz monster you control as material. You can only use this effect once per turn, and a Dino Wraith Xyz monster that has this card as material gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card whose original attribute is not dark. Then you can target one card your opponent controls and banish it, and if you do, return it to the hand during the end phase. Ooh, okay, that's a little bit of a twist.
Yes. I thought so too. So the whole thing behind that is I didn't want it to be so bad that you didn't get the card back after the banish, but it also is pretty good against basically anything except for spells. I didn't realize how strong it was against trap cards. Just kind of giving it back to your opponent during the end phase, they kind of have to set the whole thing over and things like that. And well, I can't really spoil the rest of it, but um, there is a way to make their effects, at least the ones of the Xyz monsters, quick effects. So it helps in the long run.
Got it. Okay, next up we have Dino Wraith Gilberty, a level 4 wind dinosaur monster with 1400 attack and 1000 defense. If this card is in your hand or grave, and you control no monsters, or all Dino Wraiths or Xyz monsters, you can special summon this card, and if you do, you can attach this card to a rank 4 wind Xyz monster you control as material. If not, banish this card when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. A Dino Wraith Xyz monster that has this card as material gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card whose original attribute is not wind. Then you can target one card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Hey, Comp Evac. It's a good effect.
Thank you. So, basically, like it's just a thing to kind of make it sound fair. But Gilberty's never going to be banished. There's no way. It's always going to be attached to an Xyz monster.
No, you just tuck it under something and it's fine. Just put him in a bed. Shh.
Exactly.
Alrighty, next up is Dino Wraith Jiraxel, a level 4 Earth Dinosaur monster with 1300 attack and 1100 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take a Dino Wraith card from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, and if you do, you can attach this card to a rank 4 Earth Xyz monster you control as material. If a Dino Wraith Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this following effect. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card whose original attribute is not Earth, then target one card your opponent controls and set it, or if it's a monster, change it to face down defense position.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're either booking or, as a previous submitter did, we're turning off spells and trap cards, which I think is a design space that Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs to use a lot more of.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Okay. 1 second. I think someone found the page. Let's go ahead and get that pinned here real quickly. Oh man, if someone could DM me like the link to their profile, I'd appreciate it. I'm having problems like Googling it up. Alright, next up we have Dino Wraith Mosahime, a level 4 water dinosaur monster with 1200 attack and defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can set a spell or trap card that has dinosaur in its text directly from your deck or graveyard. That's funky. Then if you do, you can attach this card to a rank 4 water Xyz monster you control. A Dino Wraith Xyz monster that has this card as material gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card whose original attribute is not water. Then target one card your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck. That is really strong.
Yeah. So naturally, I want to set either Lost World or Big Evolution Pill. If you're feeling this.
Yeah, I feel a little spicy with it. You're not going to stop me from taking my progesterone and then attacking all your defense position monsters in one turn. Alrighty, next up we have Dino Wraith Symphony, level 4 fire dinosaur monster with 1500 attack and 900 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a Dino Wraith monster from your hand or grave, and if you do, you can attach this card to a rank 4 fire Xyz monster you control. A Dino Wraith Xyz monster that has this card as material gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card whose original attribute is not fire, then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Okay, yeah, search another monster, get some spot removal. Pretty solid, solid member of the team.
So pretty much the theme that we were going for were just like the different mirror forces. That was kind of a little bit of jazz sprinkled on there. So every one of them has,
okay, yeah. I see it.
Right.
Alright, Dino Wraith Battleground is a continuous spell card. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Dino Wraith monster in addition to your normal summoner set. If your opponent special summons a monster while you control a Dino Wraith monster, you can special summon a Dino Wraith Xyz monster from your extra deck, and if you do, attach this card and one dinosaur monster you control to it as Xyz material. Ooh, okay.
I think they're asking to increase the volume.
Oh yeah, I got that taken care of.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So Battleground, extra normal summon, so we get all of our little delicious bonus effects. And then if they want to special something, fool that they are, we get our own Dino Wraith Xyz monster, which seems pretty nifty.
Yes. Yep.
Alrighty, then we have Dino Wraith Tussle, a quick play spell card. Special summon a Dino Wraith monster from your deck in defense position. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you use this effect except Dino Wraith and rank 4 Xyz monsters. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can activate one of these effects. During the standby phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one rank 4 Xyz monster you control, attach this card to that target as Xyz material. You can only use one effect per turn and only once per turn. Okay, so we can't stack these.
Right.
Oh, and that synergizes with all of our other attached effects because technically spell cards don't have attributes.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, I dig. Oh, and then because it'll go right to the graveyard, you just keep putting Tussle under things.
Yes. Yep.
All right. That seems fair and balanced, and I like it.
Obviously, nobody's breaking this up.
No, yo, the Dino Wraiths are not beating the Infinite Xyz material allegations. Dino Wraith Disarray is a counter trap card. When your opponent activates a spell card, trap card, or monster effect while you control a Dino Wraith monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card from your grave and target one Dino Wraith monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you use this effect except Dinosaur and Xyz monsters. You can only use one effect per turn and only once per turn. Okay, that's pretty good. Omni Negate, recycle a card. We've done Orcish Crescendo, so we've had worse. This is a pretty solid card. And by worse, I mean more ridiculous. So yeah, no, Disarray is great. Extra deck, Dino Wraith Dino Sheria, a rank 4 wind dinosaur spirit Xyz Oh, hold up, what?
Yeah, I forgot to throw that in. Yeah, so these are a couple surprises in here. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're getting funky with it. Level 4 dinosaur monster, unaffected by the effects of other Xyz monsters. You can attach 2 material from this card, special summon a rank 4 Wind Xyz monster from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Then you can attach this card you control to it as Xyz material. Once per turn, during the end phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, return to the extra deck. And if you do, special summon a Wind Dinosaur monster from your deck in defense position. Huh.
Yes. I had a lot of fun with this. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I don't know if I can even call it a mistake, but at one point in time, I let my opponent, one of my friends, I let him use my build, so he could try to help me like with other builds and better support cards that I could use. And he ended up doing something that I hadn't thought of before. When he detached the 2 materials to special summon the Xyz monster from the extra deck, he didn't attach, whoever it would be, Dino Shera or anyone else. He didn't attach it to the other Xyz monster. He just left Tussle in the graveyard. So as soon as it was my standby phase, he just attached Tussle to use that.
There we go.
Yes. So you get Dino Shera's effect, where at the end phase she bounces herself back to extra and then summons you another body. So it was nutso.
That's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Especially because we have those new Transcendosauruses, so you can just get like the new drill-faced one and you summon it has no material. So it already does double damage.
I didn't know. Oh, so they're Xyz monsters. Are they?
They're all different types, and like the one that's like is the drill face specifically has an effect when it has no Xyz material.
Oh, okay. All right. So I should also mention, basically all of these guys are the same, but like catering to their different attributes, except for Sarkosia, which is the one, the light one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we can basically just I don't want to say skip over, but we can like talk about the applications for all of these, like the Gastonia would summon the new Transcendosaurus fusion monster, which is pretty good because like the last one can summon any dinosaur monster from the extra deck, not just Xyz monsters.
Yes. Oh, Gastonia, specifically, just another random interaction. She can go into Baguska, right? So, if you
Wow.
already have yeah, so if you already have Dino Wraith Xyz monsters on the field, when you summon Baguska, they won't go to defense mode, and their effects won't be negated because they're unaffected by their Xyz monsters. So your opponent's the only one. Your opponent's the only one taking it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Yeah, double. So you can only summon rank 4s with their detach effect, but the end phase, like spirit bounce effect, that summons any of its associated attribute dinosaur from the extra deck. And like
From the main.
like you pointed out, you don't it's not mandatory to attach this Dino Wraith as material, so you can get that monster and then for free swap out for another one once the spirit bounce happens. That is so nifty.
Right. So during the turn, you can detach 2 materials, special summon 1 from extra deck, and if you want, attach 1. And at the end phase, if Gastonia is still on the field, you can bounce her back, special summon 1 from the main deck. So you can do either of them.
Got it. Oh, okay. It returns to the extra deck, but we summon the monster from the main deck for the spirit one. Okay, never mind. It's not as whack as I thought it was. Thank you for pointing that out, Double. Oof.
So my
Still
main
pretty good,
monster-
though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say no
my
to,
main
like,
monster-
a free Oviraptor from the deck with Smilodonus.
Right? She's my favorite. I actually did a lot of editing for that one specifically.
Okay, they look like kind of a baddie, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so
Um,
the different one is Sarkosia, it looks like.
Yes.
So 3 level 4s, unaffected by the effects of other Xyz monsters. You can activate the effects of Dino Wraith Xyz monsters you control as quick effects, so that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
And that adds a whole new dimension to all the other ones we just talked about. Or
Mhm.
all the other ones, and like the main deck ones too.
Right.
Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Sarkosia by using any non-light Dino Wraith Xyz monster you control as material.
Right. So you can't Sarkosia on top of Sarkosia, basically.
Yeah, good thinking. Good idea on that one. And you can attach 2 material from this card to special summon a rank 4 Xyz monster from your graveyard, and if you do, attach to it a Dino Wraith monster from your hand, field, or grave as Xyz material. Alright.
Yes.
Well, yeah, having access to the rank 4 toolbox for a lot of these is kind of outstanding, and the fact that the dinosaurs already splash well with non-dinosaur cards because of the evolution pill cards. So this
Right.
is going pretty funky. Are there any combos or interactions that we haven't mentioned yet that you want to bring up?
Really just, I mean, because I really couldn't do anything about this, but I mean, it made the deck really strong. It didn't really make it, busted or broken or anything like that. But if you have maybe, if you have 2 different Dino Wraith main deck monsters attached to one of the Xyz monsters, you can use more than one effect a turn because they're once per turn. So if you have, naturally 3 materials on Sarkosia, as long as you're not detaching the same attribute, you can just keep doing it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Holy cow.
Yeah. The only weakness is if you detach too much, you can't do the double detach to special summon.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So we have to be very like mindful about how we use our material. We can't just be shuffling things around. We're not Zodiac after all.
It's a chess game. It's a chess game, and that's exactly how I like to play. It's a very fun deck, I think personally.
Heck yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well then, I will, if it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and grab the Nova scale and we can get started with that.
One more thing.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
just little niche monsters that I like to go into from the extra deck with each of these guys. So, starting with yes, I cannot pronounce that name to save my life, and I was the one who made it. Danosheria.
Mhm.
So, I usually go into. I don't really use this one much, but I really want to like have a really good experience. Like going into Lightning Chidori.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Let me double check the wording on Lightning Chidori here.
Yes.
Okay, so we wouldn't be unless it does Exceed Summon it. Okay, it doesn't Exceed Summon it, so we don't get the on summon effect, but that does mean we get to we get to spin those face up cards at the top of their deck, and that's pretty good.
Yes, definitely. So who's next? Gastonia?
Mhm.
So for Gastonia's effect, I usually go into Baguska or I don't think there are any other targets other than him. For the next one we have here. Who's the next one?
We have Rex Tyra.
Rextira. Yeah. I usually go into Shark and then go into Totally Awesome right after that.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty good option.
Yeah. For
Then Seratome.
Tome. Okay, so Seratome, I usually go into one of the big well, I found out through this deck the hard way that they're not dinosaurs. They're actually dragons. The Evos,
Yeah.
I hated that so much because some of the cards in the deck lock you out of that, lock you out of them too, which kind of hurts.
Yeah, the classic evolution of dinosaurs, right? Dragons. Duh.
Right. And then finally her. Who do I usually go into for her? I haven't done it yet, but one of them is the Evil Swarm, or is it which one is it? The one that sets cards face down.
Nightmare.
This one Nightmare. Either that or I'll just go into Time Thief Redoer. Because you can attach a spell to him, so it's pretty easy to get that draw effect off of it.
Yeah, no, makes sense to me.
And that's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a
Alrighty.
very
Okay, then I'll go ahead and grab the Nova scale, unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about on that one.
right.
Alrighty, so, novelty. Right off the bat, the whole Spirit Xyz monster thing is sending me, so I've got to give it some points for that one. I do like the idea of using... we have seen certain other mechanics, like monsters giving effects while Xyz material, but I think just the idea of having that combination of subtypes all by itself and having the deck be kind of built around it should give it a 5 just off of that one.
Yeah.
Objectivity. They're good, and I think our problem-solving card text here is pretty solid. We're ignoring summoning conditions. We're making sure like exactly how it gives the material. It's not given to it on Xyz summon. It gives it to it while it's attached, which is something that some people might miss out on. There's an attention to detail on the once per turn and only once per turn kind of deal, or one effect per turn and only once per turn kind of deal, which is really good. So the problem-solving card text is good. The power level, its ability to access so many different extra deck monsters is really good. The thing, though, is that I'm thinking about it, and most of the ones that you can access, you'd be accessing already with the slew of level 4 monsters you already have. Like, there are some corner cases that we have that would require specific attributed material that we're not necessarily in a good position to use, but then this gives us the ability to do that. So I don't think we're outrageously powerful, so I think a 5 is still warranted on this one. Versatility. Are these cards going to see playing a lot of different decks? I think clearly there's a few dinosaur variants that would love to have access to things they otherwise wouldn't get a hold of. So I think we'll see it in that. But our starting gateway is a lot of dinosaur cards, so I don't think outside of this There's a whole lot of versatility. We might see other things getting splashed into it, but I don't know if it's the other way around. So I think this could be like a 2.
Right. That's fine.
And then awesomeness, spirit exceeds. I don't know what to tell you. They're like, and it goes so well with the idea of like dinosaur spirits, like from a different age. I think that really like comes together. So I think it's pretty good. I'm going to 5. I think this totals up to 17.
Oh, I almost cursed. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Hey, don't worry. Don't worry. It's not a fucking
Okay.
problem. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. Any other remarks before we move on to our next guest, Rush?
No. If anybody wants to come and play against them, I am always on Dueling Book under Rush hands.
All right.
That's all. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to show them off again, or show something else off.
Yeah. Hey. Well, thank you for sharing all these, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. Taken care of. Okay. So what Double was saying. I remember you said about custom reviews that we shouldn't use art from artists we just found on the internet without asking. So just to be clear, is everything in the clear about that? So I am going to be honest. I don't know if I handled this as correctly as I should have. I want to make sure that we find the artist who made these so that we can get them at least linked in the video so that they can get shown off. I do not want to. I don't care if you use art from like a big established franchise or something because they already have all their money and all of their exposure and all of that. But I want to make sure that if we're using art from artists that are like on the internet, that are like independent, please make sure that you have links to like their work. I know that this one was like from a bunch of different artists. Please make sure that you have the different like links to them or like their names at least. The artist name is Amazing Spino. Yeah, so I'm trying to look up the Amazing Spino. I'm having problems finding like what their page is. If anyone can like post like their, I know that Rush said that they were on Pinterest. But I have no idea how Pinterest works. I don't know if there's like a page or something. If anyone could link like a Twitter page or a Pinterest page for them so we can get them linked back eventually, so I can get that added into the chat in the description, I'd super appreciate it. But we'll get that. That's the fix that I'm going to do right now for that one. For now, we're going to move on to our next guest. And that's going to be Great Big Pillock. Let's get Pillock's stuff over here. Whoa, hey, is that you?
Yeah, am I too loud? I'm sorry.
Whoa. Yeah, actually, we didn't hear you at all.
Oh, what the heck? It always does that. Oh well. But hello, friends. It is I, one of two editing monkeys on the orbital platform. How are you all doing today?
Everyone, say hi to the editing monkey.
Give me a banana.
Here you go.
I actually don't like bananas.
Well, then why'd you ask for one?
Well, monkey. Oh, who cares? We're just like killing time at this point. But anyway. I mean,
Funny Valentine, send it to, either DM it to me. Actually, just DM it to me on Discord because I have links locked off for most people in the YouTube thing, so no one spam posts anything. But then I'll get that set up.
But anyway, if you can, if you're already reading this, anybody in the chat, you can see I have been in the lab in more ways than one because I've made Chemicritter Legacy support.
Let's go, Chemicritters! I love
Yes.
these little goofuses.
As somebody who is actually based in science, job-wise, yeah, I was mega hyped to see these and tremendously disappointed when they were just dog water.
You didn't. I don't think you've ever told me that.
No, I am. It's not anything high profile. I'm just a school science technician. I'm not going to say which school for my own privacy.
That's good. That's good. Don't dox yourself, please.
Yep. But my job is to you know how you end up with practical science experiments at school.
Yeah.
But there's usually one sad dude behind the labs who brings all the equipment in. That is what I am.
Well, thank you for facilitating cool science experiments.
Right. Now, I should mention that my discipline is physics, so I may have made some mistakes in flavor with this. But yeah, I'm going to lean more into organic chemistry with this, because if I had to choose a discipline other than physics, it would be organic chemistry, because it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if you'd like to get started, then let's go.
Let me go ahead and get this a little bigger right now, actually. I think it's a little small.
Yeah,
Gonna
just small.
boost the size here.
Like, just like the level 2 Chemicritters, the small.
Yeah, the small. Okay.
Yeah.
First up, we have Chemicritter Nitro Newt, a level 2 Wind Aqua Gemini monster with 1,000 attack and 1,100 defense.
Sorry, can I interject real quick?
Oh, please, go ahead.
I've noticed that the total of the attack and defense of all the level 2 Chemicritters is 2,100. Now, honestly, I think this is a massive flavor fail on Konami's part, because, like, you could combine the stats to make, I don't know, the atomic number of the element and the most common isotope, the mass number. That would be really sick.
Yeah,
But, no.
Konami, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you not making sure that your lore is on point for your, like, 102nd favorite archetype?
Yeah, but yeah, the periodic table is not too hard to find. Like, come on. But anyway.
Okay. Oh, and just to ask, because some people might throw in like some funky stuff. Do the Geminis for all of these work as usual, or is there a twist for any of these?
No, we didn't need to reinvent the wheel when we're doing Gemini support, I find. But
Okay.
maybe wait till next month. I might have something else. I might have something else on the cooker right now. But hey,
Yo, put that in the Bunsen burner. Spin it around.
point.
Alright, once it has its effect, if this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Chemicritter monster from your deck except a copy of this card. And if you do, this card's level becomes the level of the special summon monster for the rest of the turn.
I found Xyz summoning to be way too slow with what we have already. And if you can tell, this little dude is based on nitrogen, the most abundant element in our atmosphere, but for some reason we decided not to cover it. I mean, it doesn't crop up in organics very much either, but you'll find them in amines in particular, if my memory serves me correctly. Sometimes you might find them in esters too, but yeah, it's the nitrogen newt. I initially had it as a reptile type monster, but I just suddenly realised newts are amphibians. I'm full of it.
It's okay, someone got on my butt in the Salamangreat video for calling salamanders reptiles as well, so I was like, oh, sorry.
Oops.
Oops.
I mean, I could have checked you on that, but whatever.
Well, that's why I'm taking responsibility for it.
Fair enough.
You're the editing monkey, but I'm the script monkey, so we're both like...
Okay, when do we get to produce the complete works of Shakespeare?
Eventually, okay? I gotta finish Shakespeare explain... I don't know how this joke is supposed to be going. Don't listen to me.
Okay, random off thought now. Just like, what if you like you're so close to completing the complete works of Shakespeare, and like the very last letter you mistype.
You gotta do it over again. Sorry, you didn't do it.
No. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Oh, just so that I know so I know my Gemini rulings right. When you normal summon Nitro Newt to give it its effect, that will trigger its special summon effect, right?
Correct.
Got it. So it's basically just better Oxyox.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Oxyox summons from the hand, but Nitro Newt just like gets you right there immediately. But Oxyox will just be to vent stuff out of your hand, effectively.
And that sucks. Everyone hates venting stuff out of the hand.
I mean, it's useful sometimes. You have some level 8 stuck in there.
Well, what if I don't want level 8s in my hand? What if I don't want to play bricks?
Just draw trade in. Come on. Skill issue.
So you just want me to draw the out, huh? Okay.
Yeah. It's that simple.
Alrighty. Next up is Arrow Chemicritter Benzork.
Okay. Sorry. Hang on a minute. You just... Oh, it sounds like you're glitching out there, Nova. Hang on a minute.
Oh.
You there? Sorry?
Okay. Level 8 Dark Fiend Gemini monster with 2,600 attack, 400 defense. An Xyz or Link summon of a Chemicritter, or once it has its effects, an Xyz or Link summon of a Chemicritter monster using this card as material can't be negated. Also, your opponent can't activate cards or effects when that monster is special summoned.
Does this seem familiar?
It looks a little bit like Diox Ogre. So that's why it's Benzork, I suppose.
Orc, yes, and benzene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once per turn, you can target a Catalyst Field, Dimmer Synthesis, or Burnout in your grave and set it to your field. Hey, that's the most useful Chemicritter card they've printed ever.
Funny that. I mean, Dimmer Synthesis is a great start, but it's got a long way to go.
All right, next we have Radachemicritter Nitrox. Oh, what's up?
Sorry, I just want to point out the aero part of it. It comes from aromatic chemistry because it's just kind of a subset of organic chemistry. Anything with a benzene ring in it is known as an aromatic compound.
Mm-hmm.
And because it smells really bad, I'll just say.
Oh, okay.
Benzene's just nasty stuff in general, though.
Ugh. See, I thought it would be like... I mean, I guess aromatic is like a smelly thing. I just thought it would mean specifically it's like a gas or something.
Nope, it's very basic.
Okay.
I mean, chemists are not quite as sarcastic as us physicists, though. I've told you this before, but like the fourth, fifth, and sixth derivations of a position, they're called snap, crackle, and pop. No, I'm not joking.
That's awesome.
It's because we never used them, so why not have some fun?
Yeah, you know. Who's gonna check our work?
Yeah.
Applied biologists? I don't think so.
Ha! We call those psychologists.
Hey!
Anyway,
these are the jokes, folks. We're making fun of the different disciplines.
Yes.
All right, next we have Radachemicritter Nitroxicorn. A rank 2 Beast Xyz Wind monster with 2200 attack and 2200 defense, requiring any 2 level 2 monsters as material. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card and target a card your opponent controls and banish that target. This is a quick effect if this card only has Gemini monsters as material. If a Gemini monster is normal summoned, you can special summon a rank 8 Chemicritter Xyz monster from your extra deck, and if you too, attach the normal summoned monster. This card and all of its materials to that monster. Oh, that's actually really cool.
And this is based on nitric oxide with the symbol NO. It's a free radical, hence the name Radachemicritica. Critica. And free radicals are extremely unstable and reactive. They will react with pretty much anything you throw at them. And they're also very toxic, so that's why it just banishes something off the field. It just poisons them. Very rude.
Get out.
Yeah, and turning itself into a rank 8 Chemicritter with another Chemicritter on field, or even in hand, if you just... Actually, no, it's going to be on field no matter what I think about it. Disregard that part. Kind of mimics a reaction in that way to make something new.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yes.
Alrighty. And next up, it looks like we have an alternate choice instead of our established rank 8. We have Volachemicritter Trinitroc.
Trinitroc.
Oh, yeah, Trinitroc. Thank you.
Okay. I want to just go on the basis real quick. Vola means volatile, alright? I believe Volachemicritter Methadraco, it's based on methanol, if I recall correctly.
I believe that's true.
Yep, Trinitroc is based on trinitrotoluene, aka the Minecraft favorite, TNT.
Oh!
Yes. Very explosive compound, but anyway, let's get into the effect and see if you can spot why see if the flavor matches, basically.
Alright. It requires 2 or more level 8 Chemicritter monsters, you know, if we're gonna do that. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can take a Chemicritter monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. As a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, activate one of the following effects. Either normal summon a Gemini monster, or destroy this card. Alright? Sounding like...
This will make sense in a second.
If this card leaves the field, destroy as many cards on the field as possible, then special summon up to 4 Chemicritter monsters with different names from your graveyard and defense position. Also, you can't special summon non-Gemini monsters for the rest of this turn, except from the extra deck. Okay, that's a very good... It's a very good exception there.
Thank you, Valence. Valence inspired this restriction.
The Valence restriction.
Yes.
Okay, so very clearly with the TNT reference, it blows up everything around it. Does the fact that it summons other Chemicritters factor into that flavor at all?
No, actually, that's just utility.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's fine.
This wouldn't be utility, right?
I mean, it's a utility.
Yeah, but fun fact actually, there's a particular advanced chemistry experiment you can do as a student in at schools here. Like it depends on your exam board. It's called the nitrification of benzene or toluene. I can't remember which, but yeah, usually you want to put one nitro on the one particular group on the benzene ring. They specifically warn you, don't take it too far. You will make TNT.
Oh God!
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
Double, it's harder to summon than Method Draco. Shouldn't you have Gemini monsters as the material instead? I'm not sure about that, but I feel like we're never regularly making Volachem critters ever again, because I'm just making Radichem critter and I'm just triggering that effect.
Oh, you'll see. Also, Jess is in the chat. Hello.
Is that the underdog Jess?
Yes, it is.
Incredible.
Incredible.
There's a shiny Zoroark in chat right now, folks. Go after it.
Zoroark.
Don't worry about that. Just worry about the fact that you can click that subscribe button to catch the shiny Zoroark.
Yep. Just run. Anyway.
All right. Lastly, we have Catachem Critter, Iron Armadillo. I assume the cat is short for catalyst.
Correct.
All right.
Iron is a very common catalyst in all disciplines of chemistry.
Ooh. It is a link 1 with the south marker. I'm going to start doing that for arrows. I'm going to start using cardinal directions. Thank you.
Yeah, compass points are just way better than just left, right, because I know it's still relative, but it takes less time to type the shortcut / acronym.
For sure. It is a rock link 1 earth monster requiring a Gemini monster as material. If this card is link summoned, you can target a Gemini monster in your grave and special summon that target in defense position. You can target a Gemini monster you control that is being treated as a normal monster. Reveal a Chemocritter monster in your hand with a different name than the targeted monster, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon that targeted monster. As a quick effect, you can banish this card from your grave. Immediately after this resolves, normal summon a Chemocritter monster on your field or from your hand. Okay, so
A catalyst in every sense of the word. This speeds Geminis up because, as you know, they're slow as hell. So it's like watching a slug through a tar pit.
yeah, this literally works for every Gemini monster, it looks like.
Yeah, you can use it in any Gemini monster you want. You will have to run some Chemocritters to make it work, but if you're running a Gemini-focused deck, then you're probably running them anyway, so you've got nothing to lose.
True, fair enough.
Apart from maybe, I don't know, Alien Hypno, because you want A counters in that as well. Yeah, but it's like, imagine building a deck around Alien Hypno. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I would be so happy.
But anyway, that's everything in the chemical store. What do you think?
Well, I will go ahead and use the Nova scale to tell you. Before I get into those numbers, is there anything else that we haven't mentioned that you want to clarify, or any combos that we haven't talked about?
Not really. I just want to make this deck functional because although I have been taking part in another series with another of our friend YouTubers, Mr. Orichalcos. Here's the series called The Trash Off, right? And when him and a guest just pit two absolutely awful decks against each other. I mean, last time I was playing Hazy Flame, but and that was a lot of fun. I think I might be taking Chemocritters into it next time, so go find him. Stay tuned for that.
Good. Crush them with the power of chemical reactions.
Will do. Science!
Science! Hail science!
I'm going to make a combustible lemon that will burn your house down.
Yeah, with the lemons.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so, novelty. It is based off of Chemocritters, but also it's Chemocritters, and there's a piece of legacy support for Chemocritters. So I think we can let that slide. Now, the way that we are enabling them does seem similar to other archetypes. We have the thing that summons our other monsters. We have our level modulators. We have our thing that resets our technical support that isn't name stamped because the designers are weird and cruel, and we have to do a lot of pickup games on that one.
Though, if you attach Chemocritter names to existing spell cards already, you have to make even more Gemini monsters that get it and slowly, which clogs you up even more, I think. But yeah.
I think the way that you handled it was good. I'm blaming the designers.
Yeah, but like I said, we don't even need to reinvent the wheel because the direction that the Chemical Critters wants to go in, it's not exactly obscure or anything. It's just being Gemini's just slows it down like you wouldn't believe. So we need to catalyze it, and that's what we're trying to do.
So I'm gonna give it a 4. I'll go 4 on novelty.
Sweet. Okay.
All right, objectivity. Problem solving card text wise, I don't see an issue. I think everything is very beautifully put together. I know exactly what we're trying to do with all of these. So then it comes to the power level. The power level of all things seems pretty much in line with the deck. It just speeds it up a little bit as we have talked about it's supposed to do. I'm a little worried about Nitroxicorn, if only for the fact that you're giving Sprite decks a free banish, but, you know, I can't be knocking points for, like, a perhaps tech pick they're going to be running. And they already have Onibimaru, which can hit multiple cards.
Yeah, and also they can't use that as a quick effect because they're not running Geminis, let's be real.
Yeah, they ain't... I'm going to be real with you, dog. I ain't running, Nitro Newt in my Sprite deck.
I mean, heck, I run a Purely Beauty in my Gishki deck because it forces a negate, if nothing else.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and give this, we'll give it a 5. We'll give it a 5.
Nice.
Okay, versatility. There are technically a lot of Gemini cards, and these do work with almost all of them.
Spoilers, Gemini Ablation is going to be cracked.
God, Gemini Ablation is such a cool card.
Yep.
And I guess it also, by dint of being a Gemini monster, it also works with normal stuff. That's not necessarily a very deep pool of cards at the moment, though. Like, I don't know what else we're either splashing into or splashing out of Chemical Critters that isn't just, like, Gemini support. So I think we can give a 3 on this one. I think 3 is a decent number for all that.
Works for me.
And awesomeness. What do you think I'm going to give this? What score do you think I'm going to give this?
I mean, you tell me.
I don't even need to tell you. It's a 5, baby. It's Chemical Critters. Let's go. We're blowing up our field with Trent Nitrock, and we're summoning 4 Chemical Critters. It's so good. It's getting a 5.
Nice. I went from a curse of 16 every month, and now I'm going 17 every month.
We're getting slowly better. Slowly better.
We're getting there.
Red Eye's Chemical Critter about to go wild. Come on.
There you go. That just make that build of Red Eyes, work. Good luck.
You know what? Actually, it's 56,000.
Just imagining Red Eyes Black Dragon in a lab coat now.
I say, this time machine shenaniganery is not going quite as well as I thought it would.
Have you tried going to 88 miles per hour?
I did, and then they made me a hard once per turn. I hate it.
Wow, bastards.
Timelines are weird. All right, well, thank you very much for sharing these. I love these cards. Anything else you want to tell the audience before we move on to our next guest?
Right, well, actually, I just got a DM from Double asking, I might have an opinion of some other form of Gemini support, but I'm going to give you a little, I will just give you a taste of what it will be next month. Okay, the concept is this, all right? You would just put a bunch of Gemini monsters on the field, right? They're all normal, as you do. And then you use a certain effect, normal summon them all at once.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, as for the flavor it's going to be, or potentially, I'll leave that to your imagination for the time being.
Normal summoning multiple monsters at the same time.
It's not for the Wanderees, I promise.
I was thinking like some kind of Raptinus flavored. Not like an archetype, but like it's like how the Raptinus sword is like definitely from Raptinus.
Yeah,
but I feel like they got to be involved somehow.
Yeah. But you'll see. It's a brand new archetype. It doesn't expand on anything existing for a change.
Alrighty. Okay.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
It might not do you any favors to summon Raptinus in that deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
All right.
Well, then I guess I'll see you next month. I won't be talking to you at all between now and then, I'm sure.
Okay, that's gonna make editing very awkward.
Just read all of my thoughts. Just peel all the video ideas straight from my brain.
Oh, okay. Wish me luck with that. Anyway, I'll be seeing you then.
All right, take care. Have a good one.
Bye!
Bye! Alrighty, let's go and get the list pulled up here. Okay, that's Pillock. Alright, next up we have our last presenter for today. Let me check the audio, videos distinct. Rebel King Lucifer, if you could make your way down to the audio zone. I'm going to fix the webcam here really quickly. Bottom. Match up with FPS. There it goes.
Arrived.
Oh, hello, Master Lucifer. Good to see you again. How was the wife and kids?
Oh, Lord.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. No notes.
No, none.
All right, but yeah, how you doing today?
Final Fantasy 16 has consumed my life.
Oh, Why do I need a PS5 to play this?
Because we can't have nice things.
I guess so. Okay, actually, I need to ask you something. Because I live in my own bubble, so I, don't know, the trends or anything. Did it feel like to you that 16 kind of came out of nowhere? Because to me, it felt like it was like, hey, guess what? Final Fantasy 16 is coming out in 2 weeks, and there was no fanfare leading up to it. And there was hardly any, marketing push that I could see.
There's been a lot of build-up over the last, several months.
Okay, thank goodness. Because, in my brain, I was, creating the seeds of, the Final Fantasy is no longer relevant in today's world video essay. And I didn't want to make that video, because I don't want to live in that world. So thank God I'm just out of touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for indulging my old man tendencies. It looks like we have another video game that's being referenced today. We've got the Soul Hackers archetype.
Yeah. So, I guess a little bit of context for these. So these are for another fanfic I'm doing in the background, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains and, Shin Megami Tensei crossover.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, Found this on the web. Okay, I didn't ask your opinion, Apple Watch. Go away.
That's the Shin Megami Tensei talking.
I guess so. I guess my soul's being hacked. Oh no. Alright.
Alrighty, so, any intro information, any preface before we get into the cards?
I guess as a general rundown of what we're expecting here. It's a Vrains anime deck. Link, summon, go burr, right?
Yes.
So the general way I kind of structured these, right, is this is gonna be one of those things where this is gonna be one of those archetypes, one of those big projects of mine where you can kind of just cherry pick certain bunches of cards to build around. That's kind of the idea. So this is just kind of one little slice of it. I kind of picked out a handful of just, good generic guys. And then a little bit later we got, I guess you could kind of say, one sort of mini build.
Just an itty bitty build?
So just like an itty bitty engine of guys.
Cool. Alrighty, well, let's...
unique gimmicks here. So,
sorry, say again?
This will also end up showing one of the unique gimmicks for the archetype, so forward to that.
Alrighty. Well, let's get our first guy over here. It's Jack Frost Soul Hacker's Fairy, a level 3 Water Fiend effect monster with 1600 attack and 0 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can either add a Soul Hacker's monster from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card, or set a Soul Software spell or trap card from your graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard as link material, you can target up to 2 of your banished Soul Hacker's monsters and return them to the graveyard. Okay, so I got some way to recycle our banished cards. I assume we'll be utilizing that in some fashion later on. And it's a Stratos.
Like certain... I don't quite remember if I had... there's like 1 or 2 things I think in here, in this little batch. But yeah, there's a little bit of banishing. But the main thing is, yeah, he's kind of there to help you keep resources going.
Cool. Next up we have... Oh, sorry, say again?
Oh, well, no, I was going to say it'll kind of help combo with the next card as well.
Got it. Alright, next up we have Jack-O-Lantern, Soul Hacker's Fairy, a level 4 Fire Fiend effect monster with 1700 attack and 800 defense. If your opponent controls a monster, or if you control Jack Frost Soul Hacker's Fairy, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute this card to special summon up to 2 level 4 or lower Soul Hackers monsters with different names from your deck, except copies of this card. You can only use this effect once per turn, and you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate any of these cards' effects, except Soul Hackers monsters. Okay, so we get our material out here, and we lock ourselves into Soul Hackers so we don't just randomly splash into a whole other archetype.
Yeah, because we don't want that.
We want... sometimes you want to be a little balanced, you know.
A little bit.
Alright, next is Hellbiker, Soul Hacker's Rumor, a level 4 Fire Fiend effect monster with 1500 attack and 2000 defense. You can send a level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Hellbiker's Soul Hacker's Rumor once per turn. And once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards, then target that many spell or trap cards on the field and return them to the hand. Oh, we can return our own spell and trap cards, huh?
Mm-hmm, yeah, a little bit of that, you know.
And that's the Torpor Strike one.
Yeah. There's a little bit of flair decided to put in here. Some of these will have attack or effect names.
Hey, I'm down. I love me some flavor.
Good.
All right, next we have Rongda, Soul Hacker's Femme, a level 5 Earth Fiend effect monster with 1600 attack and 2100 defense. If this card is special summoned while you control a light Fiend monster, you can draw a card. And during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard, from your graveyard to add a Barong Soul Hacker's avatar from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and while this card is in your graveyard, neither player can target Shiva Soul Hacker's Furies on the field with card effects. Next up is Barong, Soul Hacker's Avatar, a level 4 Light Fiend effect monster with 1700 attack and 1200 defense. If this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Rongda Soul Hacker's Femme from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And while this card is in the graveyard, all Shiva Soul Hacker's Fury on the field gain 300 attack. So yeah, we normal Barong, get Rongda, get the draw. It looks like we're going to link this off in just a bit. And then we can do it all over again later.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet engine.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, no, it's a sweet engine, and it builds into something kind of nice a little bit later. You'll see.
Random Pup, how many custom cards have I missed? We've gotten this is the 7th today. I think this is our 7th person today. So there's been quite a bit, but we got the rest of Lucifers, and then we got 2 more. All right, we've got Shiva, Soul Hacker's Fury, a Dark Fiend Link 3 monster with 2500 attack, requiring 2+ Fiend monsters as material. If this card is special summoned, you can apply this effect in sequence based on the materials used. If you use Rongda, add a Soul Software trap card from your deck to your hand, and if you used Barong during the end phase, destroy 1 card on the field. Holy, okay, wow. If a card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, except by this card, and except during the damage step, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Huh. That's really good. We still need, like, oh, wait a sec. Can Jack-O-Lantern summon these? Okay, no, you can only summon one of them. We can only summon Barong with Jack-O-Lantern.
Yeah.
So we need to
it's not that
find the
crazy.
third material to make Shiva, but once we do, this card is bonkers. That's really good.
Yeah. Well, about the materials, you might notice something with the next one.
Uh-oh. I have spoken too soon. Parvati, Soul Hacker's Megami, is a light fiend monster with 1500 attack, requiring 2 fiend monsters as material. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can either add to your hand or special summon an excavated Soul Hacker's monster. Also shuffle the rest into your deck. When Shiva, Soul Hacker's Fury, is special summoned to your field from the extra deck while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card to your zone that monster points to. It goes 1 effect per turn and only once per turn. Okay, so we normal summon Barong, get Rongda, get the draw. We link those 2 off into Parvati. Parvati gets us the potential search off the top. If we special summon a Soul Hackers off of this, we can go directly into Shiva, but we don't get any of the bonus effects. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, that's the general idea.
Okay.
You can speed run to Shiva just to get it out, or you can try and get maximum value off of it by using the right monsters.
I like that. I like that you have kind of like 2 different like options to go down to get access to that. It's pretty cool. And then Shiva still gets all the bonuses from all your graveyard Barongs and Rongda, so that ain't half bad either.
Yeah. Now, would you believe me that if I said that Shiva was not the end goal?
Well, I wouldn't, but the scroll wheel says otherwise. We are moving on to Arda, Soul Hacker's Deity, a Link 4 light fiend monster with 3000 attack, requiring 2+ fiend monsters as material. While face up on the field or in the graveyard, this card is also treated as a dark attribute. If this card is Link summoned, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the number of material used for its summon, or based on the cards used as material for its summon. Parvati, Soul Hacker's Megami, you draw a card, then gain 1500, and if it used Shiva, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. If your Soul Hacker's monster special summon from the extra deck inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 1 card your opponent controls or is in their graveyard and banish it. Wow.
Yeah, so this is the end goal of the Hindu mythology line. Just get a guy that can just casually tear apart a field or a graveyard.
Yeah, I like how the banish effect isn't once per turn, and the double battle attacking thing does not say it has to be on monsters. So Art is going to kill you.
Yes, no, the whole goal of the Hindu mythology portion is just die.
Go. Cease.
Just leave.
Be gone.
The door's right there.
Alrighty, so yeah, as long as we delay summoning, or as long as we don't use Parvati's effect to potentially special summon a Soul Hackers, you could just use Parvati's revive effect on Shiva's summon and then just go into this. That's goofy. That's a little goofy. I like it. Alright. Yeah. Vision Quest. Field spell card. All Soul Hackers monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. So watch out for the mirror match, folks. Once per turn, if a face-up Soul Hackers monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target a Soul Hackers monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. Once per turn, when a Soul Hackers monster is link summoned to your field from your extra deck, you can make 1 monster your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. Okay, so I haven't played the Soul Hackers games, but I have seen some like plot synopses, and I know that like at least in the first Soul Hackers game, Vision Quests were like a story thing where you got to play as a different character for a bit to glean some information.
Yeah. So that's the general idea of how it worked in the first game. Second game is a little more akin to like social links and Persona.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's that, and with that kind of comes the mechanic of, hey, you're just gonna like go into the dungeon, like this dungeon that represents like all of your party members' like inner souls. Have fun.
Just casually.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Hey, Beelzebub, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good rest. Take care. All right. All right.
All right. Before we get to the Soul Software cards, this is where I want to preface. This is kind of where the other, like, just I guess general gimmick of the whole archetype is, which is we're built different. We don't link summon normally.
We're just built different. I don't know what to tell you.
We hack the mainframe and we link summon different.
I've got a gun and it's made of a keyboard. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Soul Software Da Vinci is a normal spell card. Add a Soul Hackers monster from your deck to your hand, then apply this effect. This turn, the first time you link summon a Soul Hackers monster, you can use up to 2 Fiend monsters in your hand as material, but the other materials must be from your field. I am now a lot more worried about the Shiva line. Can only activate one Da Vinci per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except Soul Hackers monsters. Whoa, yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, no, this is where things get turned up a little.
Oh so, boy, it looks like it.
Now, granted, that's also probably one of the more extreme variants of this.
All right, next up is Soul Software Albert, a quick play spell card. Target up to 3 fiends in your graveyard. Special summon them, but their effects are negated. Then immediately after this effect resolves, link summon a Soul Hackers Link monster using only those monsters, and shuffle the material into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. That's pretty reasonable. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle it into the deck, then draw a card. Hey! I love Metal Foes Fusion. It's a great card.
Yeah, right?
So good. And also, just getting like essentially a free Link monster off of Albert is pretty strong.
Yeah, so this is kind of what I meant by Da Vinci's probably the more just the more extreme variant of what I'm sort of for the purpose of the fanfic calling Link hack.
Hell yeah.
Like this is just dead ass like bad as it gets because. Like, for context, there's I have a continuous spell that basically gives the Tri-Brigade effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next up we have... Oh, sorry, what's up?
No, nothing. Just breaking the silence.
Got it. Alright, Soul Software Back Upper is a normal trap card. If you control a Soul Hackers monster, activate his Chainlink 2 or higher, negate the activations of your opponent's spell and trap cards and monster effects activated before this card in the chain, and if you do, shuffle the negated cards on the field into the deck. If you control a Link 3 or higher Soul Hackers Link monster, you can activate this card from your hand. This card is this card is bonkers. This is stronger than Da Vinci.
So, yeah. So for a little bit of context for this one. So, okay. So what this is actually based on? This is based on a comp software you could get in the first Soul Hackers game that basically said, "Hey, you can just save the game wherever you want."
Oh, thank God.
This card is literally, hey, I'm just gonna save scum real quick.
Hey, if you want to, just go ahead. It's okay, dude. This isn't like mainline SMT. This ain't Nocturne. Just go ahead and save. No one's watching.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. It kind of perfectly encapsulates what that would be in the game because back upper is like, I don't have to deal with consequences, actually. Undo.
Yeah.
Stop, please. Okay, our last card is Soul Software Caps Lock, Continuous Trap card. Activate this card by targeting a Soul Hackers monster you control with 2,500 or less attack and defense? Or is it or defense?
It's or defense. I just kind of, formatted it weird.
If only you control a Fiend monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters with attack less than or equal to the original attack of that monster, and when that card leaves the field, destroy this card. Or when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Okay. So I got one of those, what is it, Dragon's Roar or something, but for Soul Hackers?
Yeah, so... Yeah, basically I made this, like Dragon's Bind for Soul Hackers, and then kind
Bind,
of...
thank you.
Yeah, very small, like, what am I thinking? A very small clause from the Secret Village of the Spellcasters, the if only you control a fiend monster thing.
Yeah, to give it a little extra wiggle room so it's not completely oppressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they can normal summon Skullmeister so that they can get out of the lock. Folks, don't check to see what type Skullmeister is. It's definitely a fiend. You don't just trust me on this.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Easy. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting add-on there to keep your opponent locked down. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I will probably be showcasing more chunks of this in future months because this is like I said before, this is just kind of built to have like just little chunks of it be like dedicated to specific deck builds, if you so please.
Sick. Oh, I also like the name of the
Take
deck
a
build
vote.
pack, Lordly Souls.
Yes. Again, more silly flavor, but hey, we like silly flavor.
We
around
do.
here.
We stand silly flavor on this channel. If you don't, there's the door. I don't want you subscribing. Unclick that bell. Unclick that subscribe button. But maybe you would like it. Maybe don't have to do that. Anyway, is it time for the Nova scale?
I suppose it do be.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Let's see here. So, novelty. So like we were saying earlier, this is a Vrain's era Link spam deck. In regards to that, we are seeing a lot of similar tactics and effects that made those decks effective. You get bonuses when you summon things that help lead you into your Link summoning, and you get more effects when those cards are Link summoned over and over again until your opponent is wondering why they even like this game in the first place. That being said, is there an angle here that we're not considering? Because I'm trying to think if there's anything that this set of cards does that nothing else really does. And outside of the Soul Hackers vibe here, I don't think I see anything. Is there anything that I'm missing that this should be considered like different from other archetypes?
Let's see. Not off the top of my head, no.
All right.
I in fact might be for something. But as
Well,
far
in that
as I
case,
can-
I'll give it a
As far
2.
as I can think.
Not as like a bad score. It just means that we're using effective known tools to make this archetype work. So let's put a 2 there. Objectivity. I think our problem-solving card text here is good. Like especially the Da Vinci card. Those kinds of things can be a bit of a trip up, but I think you worded that exactly as you have to. So big props to that one. And our power level, I know I said that like Da Vinci was really powerful and Backupper was really powerful. But these are archetype specific cards. We're not using Da Vinci to like Link summon something outrageous. And then Backupper, if we don't already have an established Link 3, then you can't just deploy this out of nowhere. And even if you do, it's not a counter trap, so you can still play other things to get around it. So I kind of want to give all of these just a 5 on objectivity, just because like they're formatted well, and I don't feel like they're going to like ruin a format. Versatility. So they're all fiends. And Fiend is a greatly supported archetype. Stuff and Things in chat is already saying card like Ghastly Glitch is going to be an amazing removal card. And I can't argue with that. Especially because we can send...
Yeah.
What is it? We can send Rogda to search out Barong for later and then do that whole line up. So I think we can give this like a 3 in versatility because it'll work with every Fiend deck and it works with a variety of Link decks. So I think that's... a pretty solid versatility ranking. And for awesomeness, it's SMT in a card game. I love SMT. I got to give it a 5. I don't know what to tell all of you. It's getting a 15.
You know? Whoa.
15 for the Lordly Souls Soul Hackers. But what will happen when we add more cards to it? Only time will tell. Ooh.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Phantom Nightmare expansion.
Yeah, let's go! Phantom Nightmare is going to be the set of 2023. I don't know a single card from it. I already know that it's going to have the best Soul Hackers cards in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like the best set of this year. You know, it's gonna make Soul Hackers like break the meta. It's gonna make
Absolutely.
Fiends the best type of the game. Go! The door's right there. Dragons and warriors and spellcasters.
Get out of here.
Fiends are the new big guy.
That's right. We don't care about this game's legacy or what people like or the support that's already there. It was always for Fiends.
Always.
Always Fiends. All right, well, thank you very much for showing that off. Do you have anything else you want to share with the audience before we move on to our next set of cards?
No, I think that'll do it. Just stay tuned for next month when we experience a Phantom Nightmare.
All right, well, take it easy. Have a good one, and have a good day, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Alrighty. So that's all of our presenters today. Let's go on to Marluxia is a girl's contribution. This time around, we are talking about Aetheromes. We are going to be checking out all of these again. Let me double check to see if they gave me any like instructions for these, anything to talk about. No, doesn't look like it. So we are going to be talking about presumably the next group of monsters in the Visa storyline. Ignore the art. The art isn't what's important here. What's important is the card text. Aurum, or Omheart, the Shattered, Journey Retold, Reichphobia Restart. Oh my gosh, we got some cool stuff to talk about. Maybe we actually need to read the story so far, which is a level 1 Wind Warrior monster with 0 attack and defense. This card cannot be played. Oh man, well let's just skip that. No, it's fine. Omheart, the lost side of Visa's Starfrost, had fallen to a new low. When his world was taken, he vowed revenge, but even still, he wanted to fix the worlds. So he would travel through the wilds of Reichphobia, the waters of Pelreno, and the machinations of Wraithsoth. But even still, something was amiss. When he reached the world of Amritara, where the Calarium tree resided, the truth was revealed. Omheart's existence was limited. The divided must return to the one. As such, he would embrace his truth, becoming like the rest. However, instead of evil, he burst with light, becoming what the others could not. All right. That's a pretty sick intro. Holy cow. All right, first up we have Omheart the Shattered, a level 4 Wind Warrior monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense that is always treated as an Aetherome guard. This card's name becomes Visa Starfrost while in the hand or in the graveyard. If you control a face-up field spell card, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summoned, reveal 3 cards from your deck. Place them on top of your deck in any order. If this card is used as material for the summon of a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster, you can excavate the top 4 cards of your deck, and your opponent picks 1 to add to your hand, then shuffle the rest into your deck. Now, the Omhearts were a ritual-focused archetype, if I remember correctly. I forget if this synergizes with any of their other effects, but even if your opponent gets to pick the card off the top 4, you're still getting a free card. So, you know. It's just like a slightly unfavorable draw 1. The Journey Retold is a field spell card. If this card is activated, and during each standby phase, you can activate an Aetherome continuous spell from your deck or graveyard. Aetherome continuous spells you control can't be targeted or destroyed by card effect, and during your main phase, you can target an Aetherome monster and 1 monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense in your graveyard as a quick effect to special summon it. If you control 4 or more Aetherome continuous spells, you can special summon a monster in either graveyard instead. So you get a free card every turn and when activated. They can't be targeted or destroyed. You can quick effect summon a whole bunch of monsters, including the Visas boys. Or once you reach critical mass, you can just summon any monster from any graveyard. That's a little goofy. Next is Reichphobia Restart. This card is treated as an Aetherome and a Scareclaw card, so it works with a Journey Retold. Journey Retold? A Journey Retold. This card cannot be banished. All monsters you control gain 100 attack for every monster you control and every monster your opponent controls in face-up defense position or face-down defense position. During your main phase, if you control an Aetherome or Scareclaw monster, you can change the battle position of a monster your opponent controls or to either face-up or face-down defense position. A little extra wording on this one. It could have just said every monster your opponent controls in defense position, because for that one, it already seems to care if it's for face-up or face-down. You would need to make the distinction for the battle position changing one, so that you know if it's going to be face up or face down. But the first one, we wouldn't need to go so hard on that one. The cannot be banished is also a rulings nightmare, because if there's a card that like banishes cards off the top of your deck face up, I don't know how this interacts with it. I don't think it worries about if you banish them face down, like with Pot of Desires, because it doesn't have any effects. It's just a face down card. But I also guess I don't know what would banish it off the. Oh, right. If like your opponent uses a runic spell, what happens to restart? Huh. Interesting. All right, next up is Palreino Resurface, a continuous spell card. This is treated as an Aetherome and Tearlaments card. If this card is activated, reveal an Aetherome or Tearlaments card. I guess it means in the hand. Place it on the top of your deck. If your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a ritual or fusion monster, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the summon of a fusion or ritual monster for the rest of the turn. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add an Aetherome or Tearlaments card from your graveyard to your hand. That is stupendously powerful. If we're gonna mill something, we can ensure it's on top of our deck with Resurface. It mills itself. And then it gets you a card back. It would be sent to the graveyard instead of being banished. Source, trust me, bro, powerful. Zeldraka notes revealed from the deck. If it's revealed from the deck, that's amazing, but it just says reveal 1 Aetherome or Tearlaments card. So it could be from anywhere. At this point, it could be from anywhere. Okay, next up is Raitsoth Remaster, a continuous spell card. This is treated as an Aetherome and a Kashtira card. During the main phase, you can shuffle up to 5 cards that are banished into the deck. Reveal 1 Aetherome or Kashtira card in your deck and place that... Okay, there we go. See, that one specifies the deck. If you control an Xyz or Ritual monster, you can banish 1 card in your opponent's graveyard. Okay, that's just a pretty nifty card. If you need to recycle any of your banished cards, I guess you can also like put your opponent's cards away, but I don't know if it matters if they are banished or not. It also says cards, not it doesn't specify anything, so this can banish. This can shuffle back face down cards, which is good. I was part of the creative process. The intent was the deck. Okay, well that's good. That makes it a lot better. Okay, Calarium Reimagined. This is treated as both an Aetherome and a Mannadium continuous spell card. You can target 1 monster you control and destroy it, and if you do, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Hey, that's just good. That's just a good Scrap Dragon to have in any deck. You can target an Aetherome or Mannadium card in your graveyard, place it on the top or bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw a card. Oh, well, that's cool. You essentially either draw any of your on-theme cards, or either of your on-theme cards, or you can put it at the bottom and draw something else. That's just a solid card. That's just a good card. Next up is Aetherome Reckoning, a counter trap card. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets an Aetherome, Visa Starfrost, or monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense, you can negate the activation, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards until the end of the turn. While this card is in your graveyard, if an Aetherome, Visa Starfrost, or monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense would be destroyed, you can banish this card from your grave instead. Okay, I can see why they put Blazing Branded King as the artwork for this one. It is bonkers. Unfortunately, it negates your own cards, so if you were banking on those to get you any advantage, that's not going to help you. But on the other hand, it's, you know, it's board-wide negation. And lastly, we have Aetherome True Heart, a level 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! We're breaking, I guess 10 isn't, 8 isn't like a level thing like it is with the Aluber stuff. This one is 3,000, 3,000 for this cycle of cards. Level 10, Light Psychic Ritual Monster with 3,000 attack and defense. You can ritual summon this card with Aetherome Sculpting, a card that we saw last time. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's cards or effects. This card gains the following effects based on the number of Aetherome continuous spell cards you control. One or more, as a quick effect, you can change one monster your opponent controls to face down defense position. That's good. With 2 or more, as a quick effect, you can destroy one card your opponent controls. Also good. With 3 or more, you can banish a random card from your opponent's extra deck. Okay. And 4 or more, you can make your opponent send one card of their choice from their hand to the graveyard. Okay. So 10 is a very good level because it slots Vsauce in within the level 4s, which is good. Card gains the following effects. So each one can be activated individually. Which is good. Only the first 2 effects are quick effects, so you can't do the other ones during your opponent's turn. And it's got great protections on there. Very solid ritual monster. I think that slaps. Okay, let's go ahead and do the Nova scale here. Let's see what we can get. So, novelty. We're building off of our Aetherome cards from last time. Let me see if I can get a refresher here real quick. I gotta double check what some of these cards are up to. We have multiple ritual spells here. Or ritual monsters, rather. Oh, Sculpting has that great shuffle card your opponent controls back in the deck based on a based on your excavate, which is pretty silly. But True Heart is like, I'm just gonna deal with all these. Let's go ahead and give for novelty. Let's go ahead and do a 3. We're building not just on Aetheromes, which wouldn't count because that's a custom archetype anyway, but it is based on all the other archetypes that we have. We're kind of tying them into that. And ever since at least the Albaz era, we've been, World Legacy, we've been crossing different lores together. So we've seen them use that as a way to give decks certain tools. So we'll just give that a 3 for novelty. We've seen a bit of it before, but there's a little stuff different because of how the, we haven't seen ritual in this particular context yet. Objectivity, I believe that all of our problem-solving card text is solid. I don't think I saw this thing in Restart, which isn't too bad. Our power level on these things range considerably. I'm not sure if anyone is going to tech in Wraithsoth Remastered or Reichphobia Restart into a bunch of decks, but almost anyone can run Calarium Reimagine, especially if they have their own destruction effects. So I think our objectivity here is going to be a 4, along with our versatility to match that, because you could use some of these in a variety of decks, not just the Visas collective that we have. As for awesome, I do like me some lore cards. I do like how we're tying all these together. I gotta give it off. Just giving a 5, folks. We're giving it a 5. That means this is a 16 on the Nova scale. We got 16 for all these sweet new Aetherome cards. I hope that either Age of Overlord or Phantom Nightmare will verify what our next Visas crew is, and it better be exactly like Aetherome, otherwise I'm going to riot. Thank you very much, Marluxia, and I hope you enjoy if you are watching this back. Alrighty, let's go ahead and open up our last one for today. We have to talk with Aaron the World Breaker. Not talk with, we have to look at Aaron the World Breaker's cards. Let's go ahead and crack those open. Let's go ahead and that. And hide that. Alright. Alrighty. Ramp Up Soldier. Level 5 Wind Warrior monster with 2100 attack and 1000 defense. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute this card that you control to special summon a level 5 Wind Fusion monster from your grave or extra deck. Huh. Okay. Ramp Up Tiger. Level 5 Wind Beast Fusion monster, 2 wind. Okay, so this is one that works with us. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a wind monster, draw a card. So, Ramp Up Soldier. You can tribute this card you control to special summon a level 5 Wind Synchro monster from your grave. I guess it really is ramping up. Holy cow. Wait, one sec. I gotta double check something. So, is it any level 5 Wind Fusion monster? Hold up. Yu-Gi-Oh! Card database. Nova handing out 5s and awesomeness in each of these reviews. Well, I mean, they certainly... I like their ideas. I like what they brought to the table. And no one's brought anything egregious like Ojama. Okay, Wind... wait, I didn't do it correctly. It has to be a level 5 Wind Fusion monster. Let's go ahead and wait a sec, actually, because it looks like we're going into Synchro with this one. Ramp Up Robot. Level 5 Wind Machine Synchro monster, requiring generic material with 2100 attack, 1000 defense. If this monster is special summoned by the effect of a wind monster, banish a card your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. You can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is an Xyz material, the Xyz monster it is under cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So this one doesn't summon an Xyz monster, but Ramp Up Raven is a rank 5 Winged Beast monster with 2100 attack and 1000 defense. You can also special summon this card by using a level 5 Wind Synchro monster you control as material, and it... Yeah, okay, so it does just go up into this one. If all the material used to summon this card are wind monsters, you can negate the effects of one card in your opponent's field. You can detach one Xyz material from this card to special summon a level 5 wind monster from your graveyard. You can tribute this card with no Xyz material to special summon a Link 5 Wind monster from your extra deck or grave. Attach material to special summon a level 5 Wind monster from your graveyard. So we just get back Ramp Up Soldier for later. Alright, then the Link 5 Ramp Up Reptile is a level 5 Wind monster with 3000 attack. If this card is summoned by the effect of a wind monster, it gains the following effects. Once per turn, this card cannot be removed from the field by card effects. When this card attacks or is attacked, it gains 200 attack for each level or rank 5 wind monster on the field or in the graveyard. 3. The first time your opponent activates an effect that would affect one or more level or rank 5 wind monster you control, that effect is negated and destroyed. If this card leaves the field, you can add a level 5 wind monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so we summon out this, and we draw a card, banish a card, revive a card, and then we have a 3,000 point monster that has negation against things that remove others from the field and has its own protection. That's nifty. Time to make custom Ojamas next month. If you want to lose out on awesome points, go ahead. Because I ain't giving no one a 5 for any Ojama cards, that's for certain. Okay, well, that's a pretty... I mean, that's a pretty bonkers series of cards, though, it does require a lot of extra deck commitment to make this work. All this on no normal summon and no locks. That is true. It does take up 4 spaces in your extra deck, though, to get the full... Because you have to go up this line, this exact way. So it's not exactly without cost. It just lacks, like... the action economy costs, because like you said, it doesn't require a lot of that, but it does require opportunity cost insofar as what you're going to put in your extra deck. I guess if you, like... But what if the Ojama card is, like, really cool? Like Ojama King being arrested for tax evasion. That's not an Ojama card. That's a card for the betterment of mankind. Ojama will support Trihorn Dragon. Choose your loyalty carefully, Nova. And Trihorn Dragon would never support an Ojama. He would never do that. Okay, well, we've already gotten that all put together. Let's go ahead and do the Nova scale on this one, huh? Okay, novelty. So, we've seen cards that can cheat others into play. The interesting thing here is that because it can summon any level 5 Wind Fusion monster, this is also just a way to get a free Raijin, which is kind of just very silly. But that's it. I kind of want to give it a 5 in novelty because I don't think... Is there anything like these? Like, am I just, like, at hour 4 of doing this stream and my brain is just melted? Is there anything like this weird line of cards? Well, Trihorn is the unworthy dragon, and I can't think of any monsters more unworthy than Ojamas. Yeah, but they're, like, way even more unworthy than Trihorn Dragon. Let's be real here. I'm not seeing any responses. I think a 4, just to, like, because it's basically an advantage engine that gets you through a bunch of stuff for free. I think we give it a 4 on novelty. Objectivity is kind of interesting. I believe that all of the problem-solving card text seems like outer entities, but better. Outer entities are definitely a weird little combination of extra deck monsters, and some of them do kind of, like, work with each other, but very few of them, like, lead into each other, if that makes sense. As far as I remember. Like, Norden helped to make the rank 4 Xyz monster for the theme, but it didn't, like, actually enable getting those onto the board. You have to do all the hard work yourself on that one. Objectivity. I think we have to give this also, like, a 5. Because, like, I struggle to think of... Like, obviously this is a nifty, like, line of play, but there's no protection to it. It requires a lot of deck building, and then it ends you on, like, what, a 3,000 monster that has some pretty good points to it, not gonna lie. But it is super telegraphed. Like, outrageously telegraphed. Versatility. Now, that's... I think this also has to get a 5. Because any deck can conceivably play this, like we were saying. It just you just play ramp up soldier, and then you ramp up with all these other cards, but there's no lock, you don't have to do anything else to it, and it plays mostly out of the extra deck, so there's minimal bricks. Heck, if you're a deck that recycles things, you can just put all these back in the extra deck and do it all over again later, so it has to be a 5. This is the best archetype of all time, clearly. Awesomeness. Alright, I'm going to leave it up to you. If anyone here is upset that I am giving a 5 to everything, what's a reason why this shouldn't get a 5? Because I can't think of one. They summon from the grave, too. Ramp Up Raven summons from the grave. The thing is, though, is, like, a lot of these weren't summoned correctly, but Ramp Up Raven can just summon Ramp Up Soldier and be ready for the next one. Do they have lore? Well, not yet, but anything can have lore. Do we even need to recycle them? Well, we need to summon... these aren't, like, summoned properly. Like, I guess technically Ramp Up Raven is summoned properly because it has an alternate summoning condition, but the Fusion wouldn't be summoned properly, and neither would the Synchro. So if we want to go up the whole line again, we would have to be able to at least recycle these two. But if that's the case, I think it would just be better to just recycle them, especially so that we can only play, especially so we can make it so we only have to play a single ramp up reptile. If this somehow leaves the field, this has protections for that by itself anyway. It's simple, but I think I gotta give it a 5 for a 19 on the Nova scale. This is just a really clean set of cards. I don't know what to say. So they would need to add text like this counts as a fusion summon then? Yeah. Like if Ramp Up Soldier was worded like Instant Fusion, because Instant Fusion says this is treated as a fusion summon. So if you used... Heck, you could... Okay, well... I mean, you could use Instant Fusion to summon Ramp Up Tiger. You don't get the draw because it wasn't summoned by a wind monster, but then you can go from Ramp Up Tiger into Ramp Up Robot, get its effect to banish a card your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and then at that point it's only Ramp Up Soldier that wasn't correctly summoned. That's the highest score I've ever given. I've given other 19s before. I've given like one other 19. But this does tie for the highest score that I've ever given out. Hey, that's pretty good. Alrighty. Well, that about does it for today's group of people. Holy cow, man, we've been here for a long time. My brain is melting. Oh no. Alrighty. What was the other 19? I forget. You'll have to go through the VODs to find out, or I guess go through the Discord and ask around, because I'm sure whoever got the 19 will talk about it. It might have been Corbin, actually. Cool to not expect that. Hey, well, it's a pretty nice contained group of cards. There wasn't a lot of room for me to... That's the thing, right? If you give me, like, a small archetype, there's less room for things to be, like, outrageous or, like, for me to nitpick on. So sometimes you send less cards and there's less for me to find a fault with. Okay, that about does it. Thank you all so much for dropping by. Yeah, I was gonna ask if anyone, like, from another block wanted to take care of theirs today, but, oh, I don't know. We've been streaming for, like, 4 hours. I'm already feeling beat, and we gotta do this again tomorrow, after I do, duels with Noah Jenk, so I think I am just gonna go ahead and call it for this evening. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Make sure that if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so, because we are doing this again tomorrow at noon Central. We have 7 other people who want to show off their cards, and I am more than willing to give them the time to talk about them. If you would like to join in on all of this, I am actually going to double check to see if I do have my Patreon info down here. Wow. I actually don't. I'll have to fix that later. Nope, there is. It's literally the second link there. Okay, cool. Yeah, so $5 or higher, you can join that Patreon. That'll let you join in on the festivities. It helps support me. It helps make sure that I have a bit of a stable income. And you get to show off all your cool cards here on stream for everyone to show off. Was the Launcher Spider? That's it! Yeah, Corbin's Launcher Spider archetype, I think, got a 19. I think that was it. You were so right. There should also be my socials coming up in chat in just a second. You can find my Twitter where I do my normal announcements. You can find my Patreon's in there, YouTube, but you're already here. And then most importantly, the Discord is where we hang out. There is a custom card section in there that is not gated behind anything. The Discord is completely free. And if you want to just share your customs with the Discord server, please feel free to do so. And if you want any feedback, that's probably one of the best places you can do it, because there's a ton of people there who love talking about customs, sharing their customs, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a great place to come together for that one. I think that's really all from me today. I don't think anyone here is streaming on the YouTubes right now that I can send you over to. Let me go ahead and check really quickly. It looks like House of Champs is streaming. Let me check to see if I can find a way to update this so that I can... God, this is one of the big, edit. Recording date, standard. Hey, there we go. There's a redirect right there. Boom. Haha. Did it. I am gonna get this set up. I am gonna do this. Mark my words. Okay, they have a redirect privileges thing pulled up here. Okay, that's fine. Also, E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Is also doing something, so they're going to be talking about Edison, it looks like. So we'll just go ahead and send you over there. So once the stream cuts out, you should be given a link prompted to go over there. I'm not allowed to show my cool cards, only Ojamas, new archetypes, and support for the oldest of goobers. Well, I do like new archetypes and the oldest of goobers. The other one, though... Okay, yeah, so thank you all so much for stopping by. Make sure that you check in back tomorrow when we are doing part 2 of this. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.